I'm Zach Snyder.
And I'm Aden Matthews.
And welcome back to another YouTube podcast, the one-stop shop for anything and everything related to YouTube.
Are you at the point now where that intro you can say in your sleep? Like, is it that memorized to this point or not?
Let me tell you how memorized some of my intros are. I was looking at some old recap videos on Zach Snyder Productions the other day, and I was like, just kind of like make a couple of them unlisted, and I thought about it, and I can still say my fucking intro to recap.
Yeah.
And I haven't made one of those since like June of last year.
I'm like that with all my older series. Midnight Vlogs, Questions on the Couch. I still have them.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty wild. But yeah, I got that shit in my sleep. It's no problem.
How many episodes do you think it takes before you're like fully like memorizing it? Like, what do you think on average? Probably
at least 10, I think. I think it's somewhere between 5 and 10.
Okay. That makes sense.
And you kind of figure it out. It's like the Your Everyday Nerd intro. Like, I got that down for just about every day. And I change it up a little bit for every episode. But like the basics.
The format of it, yeah.
Also do in my sleep. Yeah. Like originally all of my scripts for those had the entire like format and shit written out. And now they just don't because I don't need it in there.
Mm-hmm. You kind of figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
But, we're here to talk about YouTube, everybody. How's that?
Whoa, dude! On this YouTube podcast, we're actually going to talk about YouTube? What the heck?
Sometimes we do that, yeah. Sometimes it's revolutionary.
Yeah.
Really.
An ingenious concept.
Yeah. I like it. So, you want to tell the audience what our main topic is before we go into our other shit?
So this one was a topic that I literally came up with 5 or so minutes ago. And I'm like, hey, let's just do an episode about our YouTube pet peeves, both from the platform YouTube and from the people on the site. Because, believe it or not, me and Zach are not always puppies and sunshine about YouTube. We got a lot of shit to say. And so for the next hour or two, we're just going to complain about all the things that bug us about YouTube. So if you want an angry boy episode, this might be the one for you.
I think our tradition is like every 10 episodes, let's just complain about something.
People like these episodes. People like their college one. You know?
Yeah.
People like this format that we do. I guess just because like every episode we try to be level-headed. We try to be like, hey, there are problems, but there are ways to go around it. And, you know, people have a good heart. Like all this sort of stuff. Trying to be like ambassadors for the platform or whatever. This episode is not that. This is the worst. The worst of the worst.
I agree.
Yeah. Our own little
so get ready.
Bad YouTube rewind.
Strap in. Cause we're just gonna complain.
Yep.
That's what it's gonna be. Hopefully though, my buddy Chris at the Rewired Soul, he has this saying. He's like, talk about the problem, focus on the solution. Mm-hmm. So like, I love it. I do love it because a lot of people talk about problems but never focus on the solution. So maybe we can also find some solutions for these.
Right.
I'm sure that's gonna come up in our thing.
I think the solution though is just like therapy for us. So we can.
I agree.
If you really think about it, like.
This podcast is not to help you guys.
It's to help us.
It is our therapy sessions.
And there's a solution, right? So even if we just bitch for like 2 hours, we'll feel good about it at the very least.
Yeah, for real.
But no, Zach's right. We'll try to present some solutions here and there and help you guys out because, again, this podcast is about value. If we don't give you anything and just complain, well then, I mean, Noose is right over there. They're not difficult to find.
I agree. But anyways, let's jump into our first section, as we always do on this wonderful, wonderful podcast. Your week on YouTube trademark.
Ooh, trademark.
Your favorite. Also, did you see the different screens and shit that we had?
I did. It looked really, really cool. You guys at home have already seen it. but because we're like a week ahead, I haven't had a chance to see it until now. Because Zach was the one who made it, and they look really, really clean. I like all the extra details you added with like the topic and who's speaking and all that sort of shit. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool for the people that watch on YouTube. Just to, like,
a little bit of bonus stuff.
Yeah, like if they don't know where they are in the podcast, they can just kind of like scroll through it and find out exactly where it is. And it looks a lot better than the whole like white paper thing we had going for it.
Yeah,
so
we're all dark mode.
Dark mode, baby. I like it. I also hate it because now I have to go through every episode. But whatever.
Whatever. What 3 hours? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not that hard. I don't have to listen to the whole thing.
You just kind of
it takes
bits and
pieces.
pieces.
About like 30 minutes to get through everything when it used to just take me like 5. But it's fine.
All right.
Anyways,
that's Gucci.
Your week on YouTube. Do you want me to start?
I went last time, so it is your turn.
You would remind me.
Yeah, I would be the guy to tell you that.
Yeah. So, this week on YouTube, let me tell you right quick. I got a lot done.
You did.
Which is weird.
You did.
It was, it was weird. So the week before this past week, I came back from, it's the new year. I had like a week off. I was like, all right, got to come in with these like, well, I think I started on a Wednesday. Yeah, I was like, I gotta come in on this Wednesday, do the Thursday, Friday, Saturday episodes, and then come back and have a solid like week after that. And I've had like a good 10 days in a row, which has been nice, of actually putting out the episodes like I said I was going to.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's dope. But then I also, so I've had this issue from the very beginning of creating the show. One of the things that I know does really well on YouTube is when you like talk about trending topics.
Right.
And that's why one of my days in my Your Everyday Nerd show is Trendy Tuesday. It sounds dumb, but it lets me like hop on trending topics immediately.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is trending topics happen all the fucking time. So it's like I could talk about Aquaman when it comes out on that Tuesday, but I might have something else that's a little bit more pressing for that Tuesday, so I'll push Aquaman back another week. But oh shit, there's something else that's come out a little bit that's just come out that I also could talk about this week, so I'm going to push that Aquaman review back another week. And then what ends up happening is a month later, this movie's been out. I don't really want to talk about it anymore because I haven't seen it yet, and it's not trending yet, or it's not trending anymore. So I've put myself in a position where that's just like a missed topic.
Yeah.
And since the rest of my show revolves around like Thursdays, I talk about old shit. Like none of that's trending. And there's like these different days where I have these different themes. It puts me in a position where there's a lot that I want to cover that's newer. But I don't want to sacrifice the format I have for the show. I don't want to sacrifice the other potential stuff that I can talk about just to be another channel that talks about new stuff all the time.
Right. You still want that balance, obviously.
Right. Because the thing that I love about Your Everyday Nerd is that it's almost like a portfolio of all the different media stuff that I've watched or played.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that about it, and I want to keep it that way. But anyways, long story short, this was a problem that I was having for about a month. And the solution to that problem came out of a joke.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like,
so
Zach thinks of this idea. He's like, what am I going to do with this new concept? And the first episode of it's hilarious, but continue.
Well, here's the like timeline for this.
Okay.
I didn't even think of this solution until a joke had been made in my DMs. Like I realized that there was this problem that I was having where I would like push back things and realize maybe I'm not going to be able to talk about this trending topic at all. I'm just going to have to push forward. I realized this problem for the last like month and a half. But the solution came out of my boy Jay the Zoomster.
Wow, finally coming in handy.
posted in my posted in the DMs. He's like, you should have done a Trendy Tuesday on Mo Bamba or Sicko Mode, a critical analysis of the biggest hits of 2018.
I love that.
And
fucking
I
title.
was like, yeah. And I was like, that's going out today. It's 1:22 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Damn.
And I'm like, that's going out today. And he's like, LMAO, you joking, right? And I'm like, tell me I won't do it. And then I'm like, I'm putting out 2 Trendy Tuesdays today. And then he's like, you for real? I'm like, maybe. So, you know, I get a little bit of sleep. I wake up. I get my video out that day, which was what was it? Not important, probably, because I can't even think about it. Oh, it's this comic book show that came out recently. And there was like a Humble Bundle comic book bundle about that new show. So I was like, ooh, look at that. That going in the sponsorship section.
Hey.
And it's trendy. But anyways, I got that done, and then I was like, let me write this Sicko Mode or Mo Bamba joke video. And I write out the script, and I'm like, this is funny. I want to upload this. How can I make this into something that, like, can I just upload an extra video today? And I've been wanting to upload extra videos just for the hell of it. And so I came up with this concept. Originally it was going to be like the extra sods or extra episode or whatever. But I came up with something unique called the BSides.
Oh yeah, clever.
And I like it. But basically what it is it allows me to upload an extra video per day in Your Everyday Nerd. They're shorter. They don't have a sponsorship section on it. And it's more of a focus towards newer, trendy topics that I can just kind of put out there. I like the concept. I've got quite a few that's going to hopefully be coming out this upcoming week. Mm-hmm. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah. That happened.
For those of you who don't get the reference to what the BSides name is and why it's kind of a cool thing, because I didn't for a while, because I'm not like a music guy or whatever.
Right.
But basically, to my knowledge, back in the day when you had records or cassettes, or I think even CDs had them, if I'm not mistaken, but you would get all your main tracks, aka the A side of it, which is the stuff you would typically pay to get the record for, like those specific songs. But then if you were to flip it over onto the B side, you would get some like extra sort of bonus material. So Zach was using that as kind of like your everyday nerds, the stuff you come for every day. But if you kind of flip that side over a little bit, get a little bit of extra stuff. Here we have the B-sides. So
exactly.
It's a really cool name that took me a while to get the reference for, but I'm like, okay, I got it now.
I don't know where the fuck that came from. Like, I don't know how I thought of that, because I was literally on the toilet thinking of, what am I going to call these extra episodes? I don't want to call it extra sods. That sounds so fucking dumb. I don't want to call it.
Who would do that?
Who would do that? I don't want to call it extra. Like, it could have been Your Everyday Nerd Extra. That's what it was going to end up being. And then like fucking extra. The B-sides came to me. I was like, that's dope. I like the sound of that. Yeah. And it works. But yeah, so I've got like, it's going to allow me to talk about like Netflix movies when they come out, because I can do that a lot easier than the new movies in the theaters. Some of the newer anime, I'll be able to do like shorter episodes of that, because I know it'll do well in the algorithm. And I want to talk about this stuff anyways. That's like my biggest, like, what do you call it? I'm not going to make these episodes just for the views. I'm going to make these episodes if I have the idea to do them. Mm-hmm. So like, they're not guaranteed every day. There might not even be one some weeks. But if there's something that came out that I want to talk about, and I can make a coherent, like, little script about it without, rambling on, then I'll do it.
Fair enough. It's a good idea. And I think you could even take it past the scope of just having it be an extra Trendy Tuesday and use it for like whatever day. Or even,
I agree.
Even to the point where, because I know I run into this problem a lot, where like, I have a video and I have a lot to say, but it's too long, so all the stuff ends up getting cut. You can have a B-sides just focusing on like one particular aspect of a video that didn't get put in, right?
That's true.
Something that would make the video like longer, Or you take that bit, put it into a B-side, and call it a day, right? Like, you could have it for extra topics, extra moments, extra movies, or just memes in general. Like, I think there's a lot of potential with that concept.
Yeah. So I like it. I'm glad that it's a thing. Of course, this does mean my workload's going to be more because I'm a dumbass, but I like the concept enough that I want to roll with it for a while. Like, I already know that I'm probably going to do an episode on each individual Oscar Best Picture nomination.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally, and I'm still going to do this, but originally it was just going to be like a Trinity Tuesday episode on all 9 movies, ranking them. Kind of like I did last year in a separate video, but it'll be Your Everyday Nerd. But now I can actually do like 3 to 4 minutes or 3 to 6 minute videos on each movie and talk about them without like having to get through it really quickly. So that'll be dope.
Indeed.
But that was the main thing that happened this past week.
Aside from just uploading.
Right. I put out a lot of videos. I changed up a couple of thumbnails this morning because some of them were not so good.
Oh, I didn't even notice this. Which ones?
Iron Man, Twilight, and Sanshido Sugata, the old Japanese film. Changed up those thumbnails, made them look better. Oh, and my favorite things of 2018, because I was not happy with those thumbnails.
Hey, let me see, because I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's all like explosion-y. Okay.
Which one?
There's like a fire background now. This is kind of dope. I don't know what this is.
The favorite things of 2018. Yeah, it's wallpaper from the J. Cole album.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you just zoomed in on it. Clever dog.
It's a really good it's a really good wallpaper. I found like an actual just that art design on there. So
damn.
I like it. Yeah, it was a lot better than what I had before that. I put that together way too fast. I'm still gonna change a couple more. Probably in the next week.
Oh, they're right. The Iron Man one does look better.
Yeah.
I remember the old one.
It wasn't even good. It wasn't good.
I don't know what fucking Iron Man logo you had found last time that like wasn't the movie one. It was like this weird ass.
I knew it was a different one, but I was like, I'm just gonna go with this. I think it was like an animated series one or something like that.
Oh. But yeah, the movie one fits a lot better.
Agreed. I will say one of the things I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, which is a good thing, but is also really weird, is that like things are moving up for the channel. Like analytics are going up for the first time, and like they're not just like gradually, like it's starting to like move a little bit more than it ever has been, which is super weird. It's nice. It's just different territory because I've never had a couple of months where subscribers just kind of came at like 1 to 2 per day. And that's what it's been for like the last month.
Damn.
And it's, yeah, I didn't know that was possible.
It's almost as if you upload videos of a series consistently, people will watch.
What? Who would have known? I think it's also funny that I lose a couple like throughout each month now. It's like the last 2 months I've lost probably about 10 to 20 different subscribers, but I've been gaining those back. So it's like a lot of the old people that sub for older stuff or for a giveaway or whatever, they're starting to leave, but new people are coming in, which is cool. But also I'm noticing that like certain episodes are still getting very low views. And I think that that's just going to happen for certain topics right now until the show becomes actually until it actually goes somewhere.
Yeah, there were a couple that were around the 8 mark, but even those I'm seeing have gone up a little bit.
Yeah. No, it was like this one about this old Japanese film. It had 3 views for a solid like 48 hours. And I was like, oh, okay.
I remember looking at your homepage where that episode and the Twilight episode came out. Like the Twilight episode had just came out. And the Twilight one already had 3 views according to your homepage, but the Akira Kurosawa one only had like none. It said no views on it.
It was like 0 for a solid like 12 hours or something. It was weird.
And then I watched it and the Twilight one back to back, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think the problem with that was, number one, I put that video out on Friday morning instead of Thursday like it was supposed to go out.
Right.
And then number two, it's such a niche topic.
Yeah, you kind of have to know your shit.
Yeah. But one of the other things that I've been looking into is I'm trying to get better at SEO again because I kind of plateaued at that. But vidIQ, which I think you use, correct?
I use a bit of both, vidIQ and YouTube.
Yeah, vidIQ. Yeah, so I use both as well. But one thing that vidIQ has that's really nice is this like keyword score. So you can like type in a tag, or just like Akira Kurosawa. I type this up into the YouTube search. It shows me that it has a search volume of 83 and a competition score of 42. And basically what that means is that the search volume, like there's 83 out of 100 people are looking for a video about Akira Kurosawa, while 42 out of 100 people are making videos for that topic, which means
there's a market.
There's a whole exactly. That's exactly what it means. That there's a market for it. So I'm starting to look into those a little bit more, and I'm gonna use tags and certain search terms as a basis of, first off, getting better tags and better SEO, but also choosing certain episodes that I'm going to do and prioritizing certain episodes. Because while in 2 years, when the channel is better than it is now, like undoubtedly it'll be better in 2 years than it is now, I can do a video on something that has more competition and it'll do just as well as the other videos. Mm-hmm. But if I find something that I know is going to hit well, like this Seinfeld video that I did that's got like 500 views now, if I can do more things like that, then the channel it'll grow quicker that way, basically.
That's true. You got to find those diamond in the rough topics, if you will, and get to them quick, right? Because that's the other thing. Just because Akira Kurosawa is not a huge market now doesn't mean like tomorrow or in 2 days, like some big YouTuber makes a video about it and then it just, that takes up views and topics. So like if you find that market, for all you listening at home, like you got to capitalize on it or it doesn't mean anything, right? You can't sit on that idea for a month hoping that it's still going to be the same, right? Like,
Exactly. That's the point. Because it's like, I could, like, end the week of the Best Picture nominations for the Oscars, I could cover something completely different that day, but I have a sneaking suspicion that those Oscar videos are going to do better than a Netflix movie. Who knows? Mm-hmm. It could go either way. But I think a better way to know is I know my Mega Man videos aren't doing too well.
Right.
Just because it's an old game and whatever. But the main reason I'm doing them is because I want to play through the games and I want to review them all. But if I can find other topics that I know are going to do better that are already in my schedule and do them sooner, then that'll be more beneficial in the short term. While my long-term goals are obviously just making as many videos as I can about things that I want to make them about.
Yeah. Still want to be having fun.
Exactly. That's number one priority. Yeah, that was the week. It was a good week. It was a solid week for YouTube. Still a little stressful, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it is.
I feel you, dog. We're gonna be complaining about some of that stuff later on.
Yeah.
So
ironically,
save it.
Yeah.
Save that shit. So my week on YouTube trademark. You know how like out in like Nevada and California, there's just like all this desert land, like no life there, but just a lot of like sand and hot sun and pain, right? But very few like oasis spots in there. That was my week on YouTube. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm the desert. In all seriousness, without being vague and making stupid desert analogies, my week on YouTube did not pan out exactly how I thought it would be, and I talked about it on the last podcast episode warning my future self, hey, college is coming up. You're going to need to be able to, stay on track with back to the video games and all that sort of thing, because school's going to take up a lot of time. And sure enough, school took up a lot of time. So here we are, back at it again. There were a couple of things that contributed to me not having back to the video games, 2 days ago? Friday the 18th?
Yeah.
Some of them were on a creative level, like, for example, my topic of, like, top 10 games of 2018. Like you, realizing that I didn't have a lot of 2018 games to mention kind of made the video seem pointless. So I had to look for another topic, and I thought, hey, why not do, like, top 10 Switch games that have come out, like, so far, right? Like, 10 of the best Switch games now that we're done with, like, year 2 or whatever, and just go with that. But, and this was the next problem, last weekend I had brought up that I was doing a bunch of collab projects with other people, and by the time I got all that stuff done and got my school stuff ready, I had to go. And because my set is at home and not at school, it's impossible to record back to the video games when I'm at college Monday through Friday. So Saturday and Sunday is the only time I could do it. I did think about, like, I had my camera with me, and I could have, like, filmed in my truck, but it was, like, rainy and nasty and shitty, and I didn't feel in, like, a good mood that day or most days, because going back to school does not do wonders for your mental health.
No, it does not.
Weird how that works out. And then just, like, finally, like, going back to school was rough, because I had 5 classes. One of them wasn't working out. I tried to replace that class with a different one, and then that one was even worse. So now I'm down to 4.
Oh, right, that's right.
Now I'm down to 4 classes, basically. And I like all 4 of them. But because I dropped that class, I'm going to be even further and further behind of, like, graduating senior year. Which, granted, it's not impossible yet. It could still happen. But I keep getting in scenarios where as soon as the semester starts, I, for whatever reason, find a way to screw myself over in one way or another. Whether that's, hey, let's change my major to broadcasting, or, hey, let's not do 6 classes, or, I want to do this because this sounds fun, even though it doesn't count toward my diploma at all. This is just a fun class I want to do.
Yep.
And all of it begins to stack up over the course of 2 or 3 years. So yeah, I was just like, you know what? I like my 4 classes that I'm involved in now. I'm going to stick with those 4. I'm going to have a fun time, and we'll hit back at it next semester, right? Like, do what I can now, basically, and worry about what I can control later. So that was a big part of a lot of that, of dealing with that sort of stuff. That first week of college was rough, obviously, but I'm back again, back home on the weekend, and here I've actually been able to do a little bit more stuff. Some things that I can actually talk about. Lions Honor Gaming was actually a big part of my workflow this week. Not only during the week did I make a little schedule graphic, I updated everybody in the mod chat with, like, a plan of action. I added a couple of new series. I got Jay on track. He has his internet back today, by the way.
Yeah.
And so he has, like, Sonic, 2 of them rendered, and all he needs to do is render the finale and upload them. And I'm like, yo, Jay, upload them as soon as you can. I don't care if we get, like, 3 Sonics in a row. Fucking do it. Whatever, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I made a schedule and everything, and then I'm like, yo, let's just, like, try to tackle some of these series. Call Parker up late last night. Or not last night. The night before. I think the night before.
Yeah, I think it was the night before.
I called Parker up the night before.
Because he tried to get me in there, and I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. Fuck you. I'm like, yo, let's do that last episode of Stick Fight, because we had recorded 3. Let's get a 4th one done. We did that.
Yeah.
And then we're like, hey, let's record a bit of Smash Brawl, because we don't have a series on Sunday, and that could be like a cool one-off type thing. And then Parker was like, yo, why don't we get somebody else involved in this? And then we call, like, Donovan up late at night. Like, hey, really? What are you doing?
That's dope.
So yeah, we played Brawl through Parsec. Donovan's internet couldn't handle it, so he just co-comped. But those were really good episodes. All 4 of them were some of the best shit that I've done with Parker, like, ever.
Nice.
So all that shit was good. And with Stick Fight and Brawl being done, along with Fire Red being done, an impossible 7 series that need to be recorded by February are now only down to 4. And one of them is Yoshi, which I'm going to have time to do now. So, yeah. And with Jay's internet coming back, we're going to be close to that February deadline. 11 days to be exact. But for the first time, it actually looks like we're going to actually turn this around. Like before, because I didn't feel too confident in it, because everybody was kind of doing their own thing, and we were halfway through January. But I kind of rallied a little bit behind everybody and was like, yo, let's get this shit done. Kyle's already like DMing people and finding shit to do. The schedule's done and ready, and we're just rocking it on that front. And I feel really proud of everybody for like getting your shit together and like, let's fucking do this. So that was fun.
It's exciting. I still got to get with Kyle and do some Fire Emblem. Marjak messaged me earlier today with a series idea.
Ooh.
Which is going to be pretty hype, and I'll mention that to you guys in the
just DM me
in the Discord.
Yeah,
but that should be pretty cool.
Dope.
Yeah, but that's cool.
Oh, and then one last thing. This is the dumbest of all of it. So
I'm hyped.
Donovan goes to bed. It's just me and Parker. It's like 1 a.m. or whatever. And I'm like, yo, you want to record something for your channel? Because I've never been on Parker's channel before. He's like, yeah, sure. What do you want to do? And I'm like, I just want to talk for a while. Can we do like a podcast something or other? He's like,
Donovan did?
No. Donovan went to bed. I'm with Parker at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, Parker, let's just record a podcast type thing. He's like, okay. Come up with a name for it. And the list of possible podcast names. Some of the best shit. Tell me which one you like, alright? Here we go.
Oh, no.
I have them all listed here. Possible podcast names. 2 bros, 1 mic. Gangbang time. An orgy of discussions. I like that one.
That was pretty good.
Dicking around. Adam Sandler's The Jack and Jill Experience. That one would have been good, but I don't know about that one. I'm mining. It really do be like that sometimes. I don't feel so good. Life is an inescapable vortex of death and despair. Give me the podcast, daddy. Peanut butter and sardines.
Yes. No.
Damn it, Bobby. The South rises. What slavery? ? He eating beans.
Whoa.
Hit or miss. So my wife took the kids. How I Met Your Parker. That relatable moment when you nut. Cleanup crew. Ham in a cup. And in capital letters, he thick boy, he thick.
Holy shit.
So, a lot of winners in that one.
Yeah. I think my favorite is a mix between hit or miss.
Yeah.
And give me that podcast, daddy.
Give me that podcast, daddy. I like the what slavery?
that one's pretty epic.
I'm not sure. Bottom line, we didn't go with any of these, and instead went with a much simpler, nicer name. Because we were making chain gang memes and lines on her, we decided to call the podcast The Other Side of the Fence. And
holy shit.
Me and Parker recorded the first episode of that, basically. And it was interesting, to say the least. It was a combination of, like, tired me and Parker going on, like, tangents. Interesting tangents, but tangents nonetheless. And then by the end of it, I, like, wanted to die.
How long was it?
Like an hour. An hour 30.
Okay.
Maybe. Not terribly long.
Whew. So is this going to be a recurring podcast?
So, the way I described it in the episode was like, this podcast is literally going to be whenever me and Parker have time. Don't expect it. It's not on a schedule. This isn't like a new recurring series. This is just a once in a while thing that we did. So once in a while, in fact, that we stole the topic for that episode off the lines on our Nerdcast spreadsheet.
Nice.
We just scrolled to the bottom and we're like, oh, this entitlement versus expectation one's fun. Let's just take that. And so that's what we did.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah, so whenever Kyle and them decide to do that topic, we'll have beat them to the punch.
Where's this being uploaded at?
Parker's channel. I let him have
Wonderful.
it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
No blue couch?
No.
I'm not gonna go on blue
Like,
couch.
you can have it, man. It might be on Anchor one day. It might not be, but let me tell you, that was an experience, to say the least.
Holy shit! Yeah, I can tell. Wow.
So, go watch that, I guess, when it comes out. I don't know. It might be good. It probably won't be.
See, I might check it out. I listened to all of your Aden on Anchor episodes the other day.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Those are pretty good.
Oh, and I should mention, I'm still doing that. Like, I'm still on top of that.
Yeah.
One episode every Monday. Still going strong on that. I'll probably start advertising them sometime next week. I'm going to start advertising them in February. Because at that point, I'll have, like, 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And then I can advertise them. But no, I've been loving them. I'm glad Patient and you are enjoying them.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I like them. What was your favorite topic that I went on? What stands out to you?
Hold on, let me go back and look at them real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have any notes on these or no?
In the description of Anchor,
the fucking hot chocolate. The hot chocolate, man. This dude was drinking a hot chocolate during a podcast, and he was like, "Man, I should probably stop doing this, or I'm just gonna drink this entire thing the whole time."
And I did.
And yet he goes on to drink the whole entire thing.
I love that.
Like, what a mad lad.
I love that. I love that episode. It is so fun. I'm like, people are either gonna hate this or love this, and I don't care. Fuck it.
These are just like 30-minute like audio experiences into Aden's psyche.
Yeah, they are so.
And they work.
They are so stream of conscious. Like, whatever I fucking say is not being fact checked or like has anything behind it. It's just my brain thought of this. Let's go to this now.
Yeah.
And so you get some weird transitions and some weird bits in here, but I don't know. I've been loving doing them. They're a lot of fun.
I like it. Yeah.
I might have to start doing art for it instead of leaving my stupid picture with me wearing those big sunglasses up there.
I think not. I think that's good.
You think that perfectly
I think
sums
that's
it up?
perfect.
Right there.
Oh,
This is what you
hell
get.
Yeah. This is exactly what you get. Did I mention anything about an article thing a couple weeks ago? Mention anything about articles?
You mentioned writing some new ones, and some had done well previously. I remember that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I had one do really well over the past year about, I did like an entire article about getting 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000, like, yeah, it was just like the 4,000 hours of watch time.
Yeah.
This was right, like, January 2017. And it's done really well over the past year. So I started writing a little bit more. And I put out a how and why you should make a show on YouTube in 2019.
I read it, yeah.
Did you read it? Yeah. Yeah, put that out on January 11th. And then recently, like today, I wrote it like last week. I just never uploaded it. I put out an article that you might like called Go to College, Skip the Degree. And
I like the title of it already.
It's just like it's a 7-minute read about how going to college is dope, but like you don't have to graduate.
You really don't.
It's specifically targeted towards like creators and entrepreneurs and that kind of breed of people, you know, our breed of people, and hopefully it'll benefit some people. Who knows?
You never know. We talk about it so much. Might as well get it out there in some written form or other.
Yeah.
But
I like to write, so.
Yeah, you do a really good job of that sort of stuff. But
thank you.
That was my week basically. It was mainly filled up with me being stressed and worried about college again. Not a new thing.
Would have known.
I'm well aware. You would think that like the first time would be fine, but every semester is a new challenge. Let me tell you. There's always some stupid roadblock you got to get around in order to, you know, enjoy the rest of the semester. So
it really do be.
Hopefully that stuff's done. Hopefully we'll get an episode of Back to the Video Games out next Friday. And it sucks that like basically because of this I missed a whole week of uploading. Right? Like,
yeah,
all that shit I put on myself, and then immediately walk into a scenario where I'm like, oh, compromised. It all went to shit, basically. But No, I'll be back.
Well, and it's like, you know, this
back.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. You know, it is what it is. You just kind of have to, like, recognize what happened, see if you can prevent it from happening next time, and it's all good.
Mm. I'm not, like, trying to give excuses for myself or whatever, or be like, oh, this happened, so I couldn't do it or whatever. Like, I probably still could have done it. It would have been a worse version of the video that would have happened. But I probably could have done, like, a shittier version of, like, the camera and, like, me going to a Walmart parking lot or something or whatever, and filming it that way. I just... The first 2 episodes have meant a lot to me in terms of, like, trying new things creatively, and I really don't want somebody to watch the first 2 episodes and think, man, this is really good shit. And then episode 3 just ends up in a parking lot and like some run down street and it's all nasty and shit. You know? I've set up a little bit of expectation for myself that if I'm going to put out an episode of it, and if it's going to take a week, then it better be, you know, it better be something good and worthwhile. And I didn't want to rush together something like that on a Wednesday.
For sure.
Just to get it out.
You know, if you put out daily uploads, then you can just kind of throw out quality and just be like, you know what, I got a video out today.
There's the real idea.
The next one's going to be better.
Yeah. I don't think I'm at the point. I've considered making it daily, but I want to do a couple more weekly ones where I got the format down a little bit better before I even think about making that transition.
Absolutely. Plus, with you being in college, it just makes things a little more difficult.
Right.
Trust me.
Yep. It really do be like that.
We all know. Yeah.
But yeah, I got some group stuff done. Recorded with Donovan. We're doing a Castlevania 3 series. That's cool.
That's dope.
Recorded with Parker. Got to know him a little bit better. Lions on our gaming stuff's going good. And Back to the Video Game should come back this week. Hopefully.
Yeet. That's dope.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Are you though?
I am. No,
really?
I am. I like the Back to the Video Games concept. I like what you've done with it so far.
Mm-hmm.
I like supporting my friends.
Wow. Then how about you record Fire Emblem?
You know what? That's a mood right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I told you it was canceled.
Oh, okay. You didn't bring that up until now. Interesting.
I thought I've said it a few times, but people maybe thought I was joking.
What if we were...
Just kidding.
What if we were the type of friends, and I've heard people do this before, but I've never gone that far. What if we were the type of friends to, like, bring public, or, like, private beef and private drama, like, into this podcast? Like, let's say me and you have just, like, argued and bitched for, like, a week, and then we come to record the podcast, and we just, like, lambast each other for a fucking hour.
You know what?
No warning.
That's why I
no
fucked
talking
your
about
wife.
it. We just go into it.
That'd be pretty great, honestly.
Just air out.
We haven't had any beef yet, so it's been good.
That's why these episodes don't do well, Zach. There's no drama.
You know what? I think we should take a book out of the Logan Paul manual. Mm-hmm. Logan Paul and Jake Paul manual and go there.
I feel you.
I think it'll work. Next episode.
Hang tight.
Yeah. Get hype.
Get hype.
Anyways, do we want to go on to the main topic?
Yes. YouTuber pet peeves. Me and Zach have been on YouTube for a good while, and over the years, we have had a couple of pet peeves that probably wouldn't work for like an episode just by themselves, but when we add all those pet peeves together, both for the platform YouTube and YouTubers in general, we get this whole episode full of bitching. So, without any further ado, let the anger begin. Let's go dark side. Let's Emperor Palpatine this bitch and go from there.
I'm so tired of Let's Plays. Well, Let's Plays to die.
More like Let's Gays.
I mean, hey, we can't make gay jokes anymore. Family Guy has already said they're not making gay jokes anymore, so we can't either. That's the standard right there.
Family Guy's the peak of humor
in the industry. Yeah.
I agree.
That's the standard in the industry. No, I'll let you go first. What's your first YouTuber pet peeve?
Okay.
Are we keeping on YouTubers, or are we going to bring YouTube into this too?
Yeah, the platform and the people on it.
Okay.
That's the sort of the scope. We're not going to talk about Twitch or other social media stuff. Just like YouTube and YouTubers particularly. So let me set the scene for you. I'm a growing channel. You know, I've been at it for a couple years now. Love what I do, right? Love having fun making videos, but unfortunately, there's just not any traction behind them. You know, I'm not getting the views I like. I'm not getting the subs I like. Now let me think about why this could be. Lack of skill? No. Lack of talent? No. Lack of production value? No. Blame everybody else. Yes, I found it, Zach.
Yeah, that's
I found it. It's everybody else's fault that I'm not doing well. I love this one. This is so relatable.
It's my favorite. I love going on Twitter and seeing a YouTuber just complain about why it's YouTube's fault that they're not going anywhere with their channel.
Yeah. Not their fault. Nothing wrong with this.
It's so good.
like there's this perfect world out there where like if YouTube was fair and everybody got a fair shot and you know if everybody was at a level playing field, then my content would get the most views. But because YouTube is so unfair and we live in such an awful world, my content just goes unnoticed, Zach. Nobody watches my stuff, and the only way I can get out my frustrations is by blaming other people.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's even more beautiful when you respond to the comments of these YouTubers, and you're like, hey man, what you could do is A, B, and C.
Right.
And that'll like actual practical real life advice that I've seen work on my channel. And they're like, well, here's all my excuses of why that's just not possible and why it's still YouTube's fault. Thank you. Next. I'm like, fuck it up.
It's this mindset of like, I want to feel bad and I want to stew in my misery. And if you come here offering solutions or advice, I don't care. I want to be sad. Let me be sad, Zach. I just want to...
Pity parties. Pity parties are like one of my number one pet peeves on humans in general.
Not just YouTube.
Like, not just YouTube. Like, if you're sad about your life and you're doing nothing about it, like, that pisses me off more than anything.
Right.
And especially when I, like, try to give, like, actionable advice. I'm like, hey, man, look, what you could do is this. Like, but see, it just doesn't work like that. I'm like, it doesn't?
How would you know? You're the one that's complaining. You haven't tried it. Clearly.
That's cool. It's great.
Yeah, like, I don't care if, like, it's a thing where you, like, are off of YouTube and you're off social media and you're like, man, it's really not going anywhere and I really want to know, like, how to improve myself and how to get better. Like, that's not the people we're targeting. The people we're targeting are the people that go on, like, Twitter, YouTube, and social media, tell people about their misery, and then invite other people to be miserable with them. Right?
Yeah.
And that's where I have a problem with of actively screwing over other people, giving them the wrong idea of what YouTube is. This idea of like, oh, my channel isn't doing well, and it's because small channels aren't, you know, given respect on YouTube. And then all their commenters are like small YouTubers who decide to give up on the world because this guy has the authority over them. And it's like, man, that's like 30 good channels that we could have had out of that. But because you decided to have a pity party where everybody is miserable based off your own problems and your own situations and your own circumstances, like, that's shitty, man. You can't do that to other people, right?
I think it's ironic, too, that it's like, it's always small channels.
Yeah.
It's always like sub 1,000 subscribers or maybe like sub 5,000 subscriber channels.
Mm-hmm.
That got lucky on a few videos and have gotten like a certain amount of subs, or they've been around long enough where like they still have older subs, like just kind of sitting in the number, like not actual people watching their content. But it's like they've plateaued at this level of, I guess, mediocrity. Like that's really the best word for it. But it's people that are not willing to make their content better. And like they wonder why nothing's like going in their favor.
Mm-hmm. All right, it's this like,
it's amazing to me
because I think in a certain way, being angry about your lack of success, being angry about your content not going anywhere, if used properly, can really be a fire under your ass to like make some of the best content in your career. And,
100%.
And that shit's cool. But what a lot of people do, instead of like actively employing that anger to something interesting and something fun, just passively sit on it and decide to use that energy they could be making, by the way, to make better videos or improve their channel, complaining on Twitter or on YouTube or in front of their fan base or privately in a DM, right?
Right.
You know, like, who are you helping here?
I've had quite a few DMs from people that I've tried to help, like, by giving certain advice. And it's like, I know I'm a nobody too. Like, that's cool. I know that there's, like, still a lot of growing that I have to do and stuff. But I know what, I do know that what works.
For you, right.
And, right, for me. And I know that what could work for other people. And I know that, like, at the end of the day, the biggest things that helps anybody on this platform is, like, continuing to improve your content and making a lot of content. Like, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And it's like, when you can't focus on those two core concepts, then, like, you have no right to complain.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, kind of transitioning a little bit more into it, it's a similar thing, but not quite the same thing, are people who view YouTube as a hobby, but expect a lot more from it.
Yeah.
Right?
That one's always interesting to me.
Using the excuse of, YouTube is my hobby, therefore, I'm allowed to complain and want more out of it, even though I'm not putting 100% of everything I have into this. I should still be expecting 100% results regardless, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, it used to be, for me, YouTube was a hobby, right? Like, and I think a lot of YouTubers, it starts off that way. Like, YouTube is something that you kind of come across as this mythical thing. You're like, oh, I can make videos like other people. That's dope. And then you start making videos and you start loving the process so much that you make it, like, part of your daily life. And then you start to think, wait a second, if other people can make this, like, their career or their living, then maybe I can too.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's awesome. What the problem ends up being, though, is that some people aren't able to, whether this is, like, in their head or whether this is a financial thing or practicality thing, people aren't able to shift from a hobby mindset to a, like, career mindset in a healthy manner.
Yeah, and that can be tough, especially if it's something that you love doing and have a lot of fun with. Being able to make that transition from, like, okay, this is what I like doing, to this is what I need to be doing, right?
Right.
And we've talked about before that, like, the successful road to YouTube isn't always fun, and people would rather keep it in that fun zone. And that's fine. Like, I have no problem with people just wanting to do it as a hobby and wanting to do it for fun. Again, my issue comes from that disconnect of, yeah, it's a hobby, but I want this, and this. You know?
Right. And it's always used as an excuse, too.
Right.
Because it's like, if somebody's complaining and you're like, hey, man, like, again, you just need to work on making your videos better and putting out more videos, and you'll see results. And a lot of these people, their initial response is, well, it's just a hobby, you know. I just want it to be a hobby. Well, if you just want it to be a hobby, then don't upload to YouTube.
Sure. Make videos for yourself.
Make videos for yourself, because for you to say, I really want this audience, I really want to make money from this, and then for your actions not to be with that, like, it's illogical. It makes no sense.
And I think it ruined the good name of, like, the hobby YouTuber, right? The guy who just makes videos for fun that he likes and no one else has to. And that's fine. Like, some people need that creative outlet for people. And I love those channels. I love people who do that and don't, like, give a damn about whatever.
Same.
And people need to realize, too, that, like, being a hobby YouTuber is a key strength. If you don't have to worry about money, if you don't have to worry about making this your lifetime goal, you have an environment in which you can make some of the most creatively wild videos ever, and no one has to see them, and you're happy with that. Like, that's a huge strength. But people don't view it that way. People don't view it that way. Instead, they see hobby and then just decide to take it in an uninteresting angle or just do stuff everybody else has been doing. If it's truly a hobby, and if you really don't care, why not go out and make something wild, something absurd, something that shouldn't work algorithmically or SEO-wise, but, like, you want to make it and you want to have fun. That's a strength.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about hobby YouTubers. But now the term is just like, yeah, I make Let's Plays sometimes, and they don't do well, but okay. Like,
yeah.
You know, I mean, do what you want with your free time, man. I'm not judging you, but there's a lot of great stuff about hobby YouTubers, and just the fact that people use it as an excuse kind of hurts them as well, not just the people who do it as a business.
Right. And it's funny too, because there's a lot of successful people on the platform that started with it just being a hobby, and they kept it as a hobby for a long time. And the reason that they grew, the reason that they became successful, was because they loved what they were doing so much as a hobby that they, like, gradually and probably purposely, like, got better at making videos.
Yeah.
And, like, that comes when you love what you're doing. But so many smaller people, they see it as, like, I love what I'm doing, but I need to be good at it, and I need to be successful at it too.
No, you don't.
And it's like,
no, you don't.
Not necessarily.
Not one bit.
When potential success is hindering your enjoyment of something, then that's when you need to take a step back and say, how much am I doing this because I love doing it, and how much am I doing this because I want to make money doing it?
I think 9 times out of 10 people don't love doing it, you know?
Agreed.
I think there's some other motivation hidden underneath there of, like, some rags to riches famous story where, like, you're undiscovered and like, fucking Justin Bieber comes to your house like, yo, dog, this is the best video I've ever done seeing. Now you're gonna go to Hollywood and be famous and star in a movie with a bunch of other Viners. And, you know, like, I don't know what kind of fantasies these people have on the real, but they don't make sense, right? They're fantasies for a reason. And that's just a shame, honestly.
I should say, like, if you want to be, like if you want this to be successful and you want to make money, and, like, you don't care about it as far as, like, I enjoy doing it, but you just want to make money doing it, then, like, there's all kinds of tips and tricks that you can do to make, like, really popular videos and make them happen. Mm-hmm. But you still have to make, like, they still have to be of some kind of quality content, and you still have to put out a certain quantity. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to just make money from this,
but you don't call it a hobby. Like,
you don't call it a hobby.
How hard is that to say? How hard is that to say?
You actually work at it
and be like, yeah, this isn't my hobby. I just want to do it and get places, and being honest with yourself, right? Like, how hard is that? Why does YouTube making have to be like a starving artist fantasy where it's like, oh, I'm not making real art unless I'm living paycheck to paycheck and doing it for the art? Like, no, there's a lot of corporations and fucking, like, big media conglomerates who's like, yeah, let's make a YouTube channel and then, like, make good videos and make good art because of that, right? Like, money is obviously a big funder, and you don't have to be a starving artist to make good art, right? But we want to live in that fantasy where, like, oh, this is real YouTube art, and you can't make videos unless you're doing it for the love or for the hobby, or, you know, like, not necessarily, chief, you know?
Like, nope, that's kind of bullshit.
Not at all, right? And then what happens is when those hobby channels, like, get famous, when those hobby channels, like, do well, then the rest of the smaller YouTube community and hobby community go, oh, well, he's sold out. He's not a real YouTuber anymore.
Holy shit. It happens all the time. It's like, come on, really?
You want to talk about supporting smaller YouTubers and this community, right? And you want to talk about growing together and subbing to everybody and supporting each other. And then the one time some smaller YouTube channel makes it to the big leagues, oh, he's not one of us. You were banished from the community.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude? Come on. Like, you can't. You have to be a little bit more open-minded about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, for real. Now, I will say, what's interesting, though, is that if you look at all these negatives that can come from, like, people calling you a sellout and people talking trash about you, like, you can fix the expectation of your content to where, like, those things that big YouTubers do, you can make that a norm in your small creator content, and people won't complain about it, or most people won't complain about it anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like my Show Your Everyday Nerd has a sponsor slot in it. Am I making a whole lot of money from it? No, not really. But I put it in there so that it can be like a norm in the show, so that when, like, I actually get like real ass sponsors and it's not just like affiliate programs that give me pennies every once in a while, then like when that happens, people can't be like, oh, he sold out, he didn't have sponsored episode. Like, no, it was normal from day one. So
Zach sold out from the beginning. He's not doing it about nerd culture. He does it for the money.
Does it for the money. He created an entire section for trending topics. Oh, it's a sellout.
I bet he's living in his mansion. Doesn't even have to pay rent. He just makes your everyday nerd in a penthouse to seem like the everyday guy.
That would be hype as fuck if that was real.
And here's another thing too, just to, while we're on the topic, I hate this. I hate this big YouTuber versus small YouTuber war. Can that die?
It's not a thing.
Can that die, please?
Holy shit, it's not a thing. Your video as a small YouTuber has just as much potential to go big as a big YouTuber.
But Zach, the algorithm is favored toward Markiplier and not me. Therefore,
yeah, exactly.
It's the big YouTuber's fault that I'm not doing well, right? It's gotta be.
Markiplier could put out 2 videos today that do well, but if I put out 2 videos, it hurts my channel.
Because your 2 videos are garbage.
What if you were as charismatic and entertaining as Markiplier?
That's a big what if, right?
What if? Maybe those videos would also do fairly well. It all comes down to. It's just funny because it literally comes down to 2 things: making good videos and then putting out a lot of good videos. Mm-hmm. And it obviously it sounds a lot easier than it is. It's really fucking hard.
Very difficult.
But like that's the key to success. And for everybody, like not everybody, but for so many, especially smaller YouTubers, it really does come down to smaller ones. Like for you to just complain about everything it's so annoying to see this all the time.
Yeah. You wonder why you can't get a shout out or can't get any respect from other people when 9 times out of 10 most of your content just involves begging or complaining or some form or fashion. Yeah. Like that's not unique, that's not interesting, and frankly a lot of other people in the smaller community are like that and have a similar mindset. That's why I hate all of those fucking small YouTuber army like Twitter accounts or the small Twitch streamer community or whatever.
Yeah.
Just these assholes who are taking advantage of smaller channels to be like, hey guys, if we all put our channels into this Twitter thread and we all subscribe and support them, then when we wake up tomorrow morning, you'll have like a fan base of 1,000 subs. Like, what a great idea.
That's how it works.
How is this any different than sub for sub? How?
It's not. It's not at all.
We're okay.
I had somebody, one of the last times I streamed, it's been a few months now because of life, but one of the last times I streamed, I got raided by like a community. It was pretty dope. I wasn't expecting it. It was at the end of me playing like Mega Man 1 and it was hype. But they also were like, come check out our Discord. We raid small streamers all the time, and that's how you can get seen more often. I was like, I mean, I could join your Discord, but it's like, I'm not going to be active in it.
Right. I don't want to be involved in your pity party community, you know?
And it's like, I could be active in it, and I could like actually try to make friends through it, and that could actually help me, right? Like
hypothetically.
But I know that I don't have the time to like make that a priority right now. I'm more focused on trying to get better at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Networking is important, but like
there's a certain point where you got to find the right networks, chief.
Yeah,
and that ain't one of them.
It's like, why continue advertising your videos everywhere and networking to all these different people if they're not good in the first place?
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to make sure my videos are good enough to like post somewhere.
And I should say, like, I think the idea of like small YouTubers supporting each other is a fine concept here and there. But when you try to make it this, like, big nationwide effort, like you're joining the military or fucking, like, try to disable a nuclear or missile or some shit, like, where small communities really work? When they're small. When they're a tight-knit group of people who appreciate what you do, and they all come together, and whether or not they succeed doesn't matter, so long as we're all helping each other and having a good time, and supporting each other, and, like... Shit, we've talked about like how the Zack Snyder Productions and Blue Couch Productions Discord are some of the most helpful places on Earth. Of course we believe in the concept of community support. But if our Discords were just like fucking 30 people being like, hey, can you subscribe to my YouTube, please?
Can you watch my Let's Play Minecraft part 723 today, please? And then tomorrow, watch 724. It's gonna be epic.
If you could.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't care about that community, but because it's actual people who actually like care about what's going on and do more, by the way, than just sub and like YouTube all day. Like we have interest and feelings and conversations that don't revolve around YouTube 99% of the fucking time. That shit's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. But man, I'm tired of this small YouTuber army. I'm tired of it's these big channels ruining my life. It's the algorithm ruining my life. It's all these other things. Focus. I know your mom was like, "Hey, don't be selfish. Whatever. Be selfish with your YouTube shit."
Yeah, for sure.
Be proud of what you fucking make. First off.
It's beautiful to me because like you already mentioned it, but like this war between small YouTubers and big YouTubers, like there's a lot of small YouTubers out there that don't realize that the people that are gonna watch them are already watching a lot of big YouTubers. It's not like a competition. They don't just pick and choose. Like it's either him or him. It's either Markiplier or Aden from Blue Couch Productions. It's one or the other.
Which one am I gonna pick?
Like, if they like both of you, they'll watch both of you.
Right. I mean...
Like, I'm still amazed that, like, both of us, we have, like, really dedicated, like, viewers of our content. But they're also dedicated viewers of people that are 1,000 times bigger than us.
Because it wasn't born, that relationship wasn't born out of, hey, can you hit that subscribe button and please watch all my content? Like, no.
Exactly.
It was these people who showed up naturally, like to stream, show up for other streams. If they see a video they like, they watch it. If they don't, they don't, right? There's no, like, it's not a power relationship where I control all the people in my Discord and I'm like, you must watch every episode of Questions on the Couch. And if your view does not show up, you are banned from this Discord and are never allowed to come back. Like,
that's a good way to do it. I might start implementing that.
Just get all the mods to ban people who don't watch your videos.
Yeah.
It's all about me.
Leave a comment. Let me know that you were there. And if you're not there today, then...
Believe it or not, everybody, being a community leader is not about you. Fascinating, I know. But, like, running a community and running a YouTube channel are about the people who support the community and watch them, not about yourself. But we don't want to look at it 100%. That way.
I feel guilty when I, like, message people in the Discord. I'm like, hey, check out my video that I just put out today.
All right. I think that's natural.
I feel almost bad about it. Mm-hmm. I've had to get over a bit of that reservations, but,
True. I feel like a lot of people see big YouTubers as like this coalition that all meet together and plan to strike on the smaller YouTubers and make their life a living hell, and that it's this like conspiracy theory type thing where big YouTube and the algorithm are all secretly out to get them, when in reality it's just a bunch of smaller YouTubers looking for excuses about shit and will come to any sort of wildest imagination as to how they can make their lives more miserable than they already are.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the worst part about it is like, there's so many big YouTubers these days that like people with 1 million subs are like starting to become a minority.
Yeah.
Like people with 100,000 subs, it's ridiculous the amount of people with that amount. So it's like, you know, the rich are getting richer type situation, but it's also making that middle class of YouTube so much bigger than it ever has been.
Right. That's true.
And so like for you to complain about, I'm not able to make it, like, well, all these other people were able to make it, so what's stopping you?
Right. There's no secret Illuminati. Like, I guarantee you PewDiePie does not care about your channel. I guarantee you Markiplier doesn't care about your channel. There's no secret agenda out to get you. You're the only person stopping you from doing what you want, right? That's it. That's frankly it. And a lot of people don't want to take that responsibility, and a lot of people would rather look in other directions or find something else to complain about, or wait for YouTube to tweet about something and be like, see, this is why I'm not the big YouTuber I want to be. Like, man, that's so much time and energy, man. That's so much stuff you could be doing. And I'm not even talking about, like, make YouTube videos. I'm talking, it would be a better use of time to make yourself a sandwich than to actively wait on Twitter and be like, all right, they're gonna hit me with the bullshit. I'm ready for it. Let me fucking complain.
Let's go.
Fucking me. Like, you could take a shower. You could walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of people don't take showers. They could do that instead.
You don't even have to make YouTube videos during that time. You could just be a healthier human being.
Yeah.
In that amount of time it would take you to complain about shit like this, you know?
It's literally like the people that complain about the government all the time.
Oh yeah. The government's
like,
out
it's
to get me.
it's the exact same thing. And it's like, I mean, you know what, maybe the platform is shitty. Maybe the government is shitty.
Yeah.
But it's like,
they're not conspiring.
What are you gonna do to change it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you gonna do to change it? You complaining ain't gonna do anything.
That's for damn sure.
And I know it's ironic because we're complaining, but hopefully we've also given some advice. It's like, this is how you could change that.
Right. And like, you know, shoot, I'll be honest. At an earlier time, in an earlier life, you know, I was that guy for a little bit of time of being like,
fair.
You know, it's a lot easier to blame other things aside from yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we've all made these mistakes. We are not sitting up here high and mighty be like, look at our channel with 33 videos. We're so much better than you are. Like, we get it, all right? We're just in that small boat as you are, right? But like, I don't know. You're not going to see me in a small YouTuber community, like, posting my videos everywhere, being like, come on, guys. Go watch my stuff.
Watch my shit.
Go watch my shit, please. Yeah. You know?
I feel like, and I know my videos still have plenty of room to grow and improve and shit. But it's like, compared to my videos from like a year ago or 2 years ago, I almost wonder if it would be worth going in those small communities and being like, yo, check out my videos now.
LOL. Just come back.
Views.
Just come back with the hit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's honestly one of the reasons why I stopped posting on Reddit, because I never really saw anything good out of posting on Reddit, except for a number go up a little bit, and then even then, like, the audience retention number wasn't good. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, there's no reason for me to post this.
Right.
And lo and behold, like, the time that I stopped posting to Reddit, my audience retention started going up, and then views started going up, and subscribers started going up. And it's like, okay, cool. I think I'm on the right track now.
So to kind of make this a little bit more topical for a second, fucking YouTube and we haven't talked about this on the podcast, and we probably should have earlier, but we're going to do it now. YouTube, like, straight up emailed everybody. It was like, hey, We're not going to let you share your shit to Twitter anymore through like an automated bot. You're going to have to actually start making genuine posts or find a better way to share this stuff, because I think YouTube realized that like this isn't helping anyone, and the amount of spam and clutter that they're putting on these other platforms was enough. So they're like, you know what, fuck it, we're getting rid of annotations pretty soon. Let's just go ahead and get rid of this too. Might as well.
It's one of those good things that YouTube is doing, which is nice, because there's not many good things that YouTube does all the time. True. We could talk about that later in the episode.
We'll get to it.
But this was a very good thing. I saw that email and I was like, good.
Great, finally.
I'm glad that this is a thing. I've actually been getting pissed myself that I still had that Twitter automation thing on, and I finally cut it off like 2 days ago. But it'll be off automatically in like the end of the month. Mm-hmm. It's annoying to scroll down your timeline and just see, like, I've unfollowed people that I tried to support because that's all their Twitter was for. I'm like, I don't want to see that all the time, man. Like, cool. You made Let's Play Fallout 4 23.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I'm glad you did that. Guess what? I didn't watch the last 22 episodes.
Nothing has changed. And, you know, funny, ironically enough, the same people who are like, man, YouTube is ruining everything type community, you know what they did when they heard this news? Yeah. Guess. Take a wild guess at what they did. They went straight to Twitter.
I can't believe they would take away this thing that helps make my videos better. How am I going to let people know that I made a video today?
They're ruining small creators.
We don't have time to post our videos individually on Twitter all the time. Having automation software is what helps save me time so I can spend more time making videos.
Oh, okay. Lord. Stop.
If you say so.
Stop.
You say so.
For once, every feature on YouTube is not meant to fucking pander to you in one form or another. There can just be a time where Twitter can just be Twitter, where Facebook can just be Facebook. And if you want to share a video, you have to actually care about the video enough to make a post about it using your hands and time, right?
What a wild concept.
What a crazy... Because here's what this does. Here's what this does that I find fascinating. People will complain about, like, oh, well, now I'm not going to be able to share, like, Fallout Part 76 or whatever. And this... Right. And what they'll do, right, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm just not sharing my stuff anymore. And that right there is a key tell that they don't even care about their content enough, right? Because if they were letting automation do it, clearly they didn't have the drive or energy to share their own stuff. Because I think deep down inside they know that, like, if I post about this myself, it probably won't do well, right? There's kind of a lack of faith in your own content to the point where you can't even advertise it by yourself. Like, how low do you have to be for that, right? How badly must you feel about your own content to where you don't even feel right sharing it by hand, typing it in a post? You know? That tells me something. If you're going to let the automation do everything, clearly you don't care about your own content enough to share it.
Exactly.
Like, people are waking up.
And it's like, I've been there before. Like, when I did just Let's Plays, like, I had the automation software do it for me. Mm. And I was like, this is cool. I don't have to waste my time sharing to Twitter. But then, like, none of those posts ever did anything. Like, I never got any likes or retweets or comments or anything on those posts.
Did they bring value to anybody? Did someone's life was changed by that Twitter post of Sabijan Games Dream Daddy Episode 2?
Yeah. Somebody's life was changed, but it wasn't anybody that was watching it.
Yeah, there you go. True that. But yeah, I think this is good. It kind of kicked me in the ass a little bit of being like, well, I have like 3 of these bots that aren't even like related to YouTube. In fact, I think I went into Discord and told you, like, I still have bots that do stuff. I don't need YouTube to do it for me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, because like I still wanted to do that route, and I thought that was fine for a little while. But like coming to talk about it and coming to realize it more and more and more of like, if I'm not confident in my own content to where I can't share it, you know, genuinely, then I don't need a bot doing it, you know, basically. Right. So I probably will still have one for Facebook because I don't care about Facebook. So there's that.
I wonder why.
But I think, shit, fuck it. I'll do it right now. If I'm only going to be uploading like one episode of Back to the Video Games like a week, I'll have time to make posts, right? Like I don't.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like there's no need. I'll get rid of this bot right now, actually. I'll put my money where my mouth is. Let me sign
Making
in.
progress. 2019. So happy.
I knew it wasn't a good thing in general, but I was just like, oh, it's so easy.
Yeah. No, and I think a lot of people have like been victim to this. I know I definitely have been. Like for instance, one of the things that I stopped doing in the Discord or in my Discord is that like I don't share every single thing anymore. I share the Your Everyday Nerd episodes. I share this podcast because I know that's the thing that's gonna get like, that's what most people are gonna watch. But like, I don't share the Lions on Our Gaming shit in the Discord, and it's because I know the people that are gonna watch that channel. They know that channel exists. They're subscribed to that channel. They're gonna see those videos.
Yeah,
I don't need to like spam them with it again. And you know, I think that the only reason I even at everyone and do the Your Everyday Nerd episodes now is because sometimes it creates conversation in the Discord.
Yep.
And I like to do that.
Discussion's important, I get that.
Yeah.
Alright, it's gone.
But it's like,
I got rid of it.
what are people gonna say about Pokemon Fire Red Part 11?
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's funny. You know? We made a really funny Let's Play there, but like, I don't need to post every single part everywhere.
Yeah. I'm glad they're getting rid of it, honestly. It cuts down on this, like, predatory spam shit that we see everywhere. And I think that was part of the reason for, like, annotations going, too. Not only because I think that,
absolutely.
like, end screens are a better feature, you know, and cards are a better feature. Like, they do the job better. But, man, back in the early days of YouTube, people would just, like, throw 30 fucking annotations on the screen.
Yep.
Just so you could click on another thing. Like, ooh, click here, click here. It's like those shitty, like, ads on websites that, like, fill your
That's
your
exactly
screen.
what they were.
Yeah. Like, that's invasive.
And
nobody likes that.
When people were complaining about not having annotations anymore, I was like, wait, people actually like these? Because I hated them all the time.
They were way too much fucking work to make. They took, like, several minutes of my life.
I never made them. I never even, like, watched them. I, like, turned off annotations all the time.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of creators that did, like, interesting things with it, like click here for part 2 and
oh yeah, like those choose your own adventure
click here for a different
videos.
Right.
Those were cool.
Like those are dope. But it's like that is the vast minority.
Yeah.
And so,
you know, cards and end screens do a way better job, frankly. Not only do they look better, but they're a lot easier, right? Poor Kyle, man. Kyle didn't even know about like end screens for a while. I just thought like annotations were the only way of doing things. And I think he finally picked up on it and knew how to add them now. So that's cool. And that's the other thing.
Oh, yeah, because it was through Lions on Our Gaming.
Yeah, that we had to be like, hey, you know you can... Oh. Okay. And Kyle, too.
I get it.
This is another benefit to him. I don't think he knew how the Twitter sharing thing worked. So every time he would post one of his videos, he would have to manually fucking do it. And you could tell that he did it that way, right? And it's just like... Wow, maybe not knowing is a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because, you know, Kyle's feed I don't get annoyed with when I see. Because I'm like, oh, he actually put a little bit of work into this post. Good for him, you know?
Yeah.
So, I'm glad, honestly. More changes like that, the better.
I get annoyed, since we're on this train of, and getting annoyed by other YouTubers. I get annoyed when, like, your other social media accounts are solely to advertise.
Yeah.
Like, that's like I follow Arby's on Twitter because Arby's has some genuinely creative posts, even though at the end of the day it's like, go eat at Arby's, which I'm cool with.
Yeah, I like Arby's.
I really like Arby's, but I follow their Twitter account because they have like actually creative things that I'm interested in. If it was literally just like, we have a deal today, go get 2 roast beef sandwiches for the price of 1. Like, number 1, actually, that'd be kind of dope.
That would be.
But
I'd be down. Arby's.
I'd be down for it. But like, I don't want that in my feed every single fucking day.
I took a kind of on that same train. I took a PR class last year, like intro to PR, and there was a portion of it where obviously this guy who was teaching it had been in the PR world for several years now and was kind of in the transition of like, you know, print ads to digital ads and like email and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
PR and marketing and all that sort of fun thing. I think he did marketing and PR. Anyway, he had give me like a topic to like do a research presentation on about like the millennial generation. We've all seen these articles, right? Where like millennials are ruining mayonnaise or millennials are ruining simple ads or whatever. And on the one hand, it's like, I thought about this, like, genuinely. I'm like, on the one hand, yes, that must suck for advertisers that we're not interested in certain things. On the other hand, I'm so proud of this generation to be like, let's expect more from our ads. And let's expect, like, actual valuable content. And I made that point in the research presentation. I'm like, yes, sometimes cringy meme ads do slip through. But it's all in an effort to give you ads that provide actual value and content. And I think long term, that stuff's going to be way more memorable than the hang on to fucking armies and buy yourself a whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's a good thing. We demand more. Our attention spans demand more of ads that come out all the time. Like, we could argue about, like, the ethics of, like, short attention spans, but ads like that are a genuine good thing for everybody.
It's, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk has like this entire philosophy around like make content, not advertisements, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he works with big like multi-million dollar, billion-dollar companies and like makes their advertisements better. But it's just amazing to me like how many YouTubers, and like I said, I've done this before too.
I have recently.
But it's like, right. It's like they make a Twitter account solely to publish their YouTube videos on it. It's like I did that back in 2012. It's all good. Like I feel that, but like nobody cares.
Yep.
And so for me, like I will happily follow any like YouTube channel that I really like on Twitter. But once I just see that all they do is post their videos there, like there's no reason for me to follow them on their Twitter.
Mm-hmm. True story. Like, you know this. I got onto social media because Blue Couch Productions was a thing and I wanted to share my stuff. You know? That's how I learned Twitter. That's how I learned Facebook. That's how I got a Twitch and, you know, Mixer and all this shit was in the name of getting Blue Couch Productions out there. And there have been several takeaways from that. Number one, I'm addicted to Twitter now. That's just a thing. I wasn't, and now I am. So
that's a mood.
Thanks. But there's two ways of doing this I see, and two examples of mine. There's the Twitter way of doing things, where, yes, I had a bot that put my videos on Twitter. You know, that's wrong, obviously. But in between those uploads, and in between the bot retweeting shit like that, I would try to, at the very least, either, one, post my own tweets of, like, interesting value, or the easier way of doing things, retweet some garbage meme shit to like fill in the gaps, right?
Yeah.
To the point where it's not just links the entire time, and I kind of made it like the feed look good. So that's one way of doing it, like genuinely loving the platform of Twitter and trying to do better, right? That's example one. And then we have what I like to call the Facebook example, where
it's just objectively wrong.
I don't care.
You realize this.
This is a bad platform. I'll sink down to their level. Fuck it. Let me just post like links everywhere, right? And that you could argue number one, Aden, that's not right. Look, if you hate this platform so much, why don't you bring good into it? And I understand that, and you're absolutely right. I don't care though. So
I've literally just stopped with Facebook. I mean I've mentioned it before. I use their Facebook groups, and I actually only use like one Facebook group, and it's not even to post content. And I don't even use my Facebook page anymore. Like I don't give a fuck, because I've never seen anything good come out of Facebook, and that doesn't mean that nothing good comes out of Facebook. It just means that I don't know the proper way to use it right now.
Yeah, I clearly don't.
And instead of spending my time learning the proper way to use it, I know that right now my time can be spent doing much better things like making videos and posting to Twitter.
Yep. So, yeah, if I was honest with myself, I would get rid of Facebook today. But number one, like, it's easy what it's doing now, and I don't have to care about it. So, like, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
Number two, it's on my channel banner. So, like the art.
Oh yeah.
So that's an issue.
I get that.
But yeah, there's that thing there. But like I said, I much prefer that Twitter approach of things. Of like, let me first enjoy the platform before I get into the mindset of let me post all my shit there. And that was a big mistake of mine. But the benefit was it allowed me to try a lot of shit fast too.
Definitely. Yeah. I agree. It's like if you're, what you basically said is if you're not interesting, if you can't come up with interesting stuff to say, like share other people's interesting stuff to say.
Yeah.
Like that's your Twitter approach.
Retweets are a godsend.
It's like you could, yeah, for sure. Like, fuck, I forgot the word. Curate interesting or funny, entertaining shit that you like on your Twitter, and like people will enjoy that. Mm-hmm. At least the people that you are, that are following you. I like to think that I have a lot of interesting things to say, so I post them, and sometimes they're interesting, sometimes they're not. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, Zach posted this tweet from like 2013. Like, hey, you want a shout out? You should respond. And I responded, but he didn't give me the shout out. So I don't know what he's been doing for the past several years, but I have still not gotten my shout out. Only
that's so good.
Only a diss video calling me out. That's all I've gotten.
Oh man, he wanted to start the beef. I thought we were gonna wait till next week.
You know what I hate about YouTube? Zack Snyder.
Same. Honestly. Same.
Real talk.
Oh man. I hate my old Twitter self for so many reasons.
I love it. It's the best.
Sharing, because I used to have the YouTube to Twitter bot where it like shared everything you liked and commented on. Mm-hmm. And like it was awful. Like you just have like 30 something tweets from me per day of me liking or commenting on something, and then like the 4 Let's Play videos that I uploaded that day because
of course
I was a fucking madman. yeah. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, nobody wins from that system. Yeah, I don't think content creators win. I don't think, people looking on Twitter win. Obviously, the platform of Twitter definitely doesn't win, and YouTube gets a bad name. So, like, there are no winners in a system like that. And for YouTube to be like, hey, we're not going to give you that tool anymore, like, that's powerful, right? That speaks to, like, we're actively trying to do better with our platform. So, good on them.
Which is nice.
Good on them.
I agree.
Honestly. And if you're complaining about it, fine. God. Okay.
Oh, well.
Another new thing that I hate about YouTubers, and we've mentioned this before several times. This is almost broken record. Like, number one lesson we teach in this podcast 9 times out of 10. Motherfuckers don't know how to adapt for shit.
Exactly.
YouTube might as well be called Complacency Tube for the amount of times that I see people, like, realizing they need to change, realizing that they have to do something different, and then come out with Ultra Sun Part 34. Like, wait, what? You know something's wrong. YouTube knows something's wrong. But in your brain, you go, yeah, let me just do the same shit again. Click, upload.
One more time. Surely this one extra part of this Let's Play will do it, right?
That one will be the one that breaks through the masses, and then Markiplier will shout me out.
Yes.
Like, where's the path to success here? Where's the path of success in uploading 30 fucking parts? And I know we're bragging on Let's Play channels because that's the community we come from. But honestly, we could say the same shit about vlogs. We could say the same shit about, like, tech reviews. We could go meme channels.
Go hard on some tech reviews.
Whatever. Like, Let's Plays are what we know, so that's what we're complaining about. But everybody and their mother knows this.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
not even like the type of content that you're continuing to post. It's the way you post it. It's like, again, there's just people don't realize that they could make their content better, and that would like be the momentum that they need.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't realize that, and it's probably because nobody's ever told them.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you realize that nothing's going anywhere and you're just complaining about everything, then that might be the thing that you need to look at.
I think people too need to start realizing that the attitude that you have on Twitter and YouTube ultimately points back to you and your brand.
Yeah.
You know? If all you do all the fucking time is complain and get sad and say, I'm going to delete my YouTube channel, or I need this many likes, or I'm not going to, you know, like, people will say, oh, it's just YouTube. Oh, it's just a business. Oh, it's just a whatever. And that's fine. And that's cool. Fine, whatever. But your attitude, video in and video out, if you were constantly fucking depressed, here's an idea, Chief. Nobody wants to watch that. You know? Nobody wants to watch Sad Gamer 34 be like, yeah, nobody watches my stuff, but hey, Pokemon part whatever. You know?
I love when it's inside the video. They're like, they actually physically say these things in these videos. They're like, nobody's gonna watch this, but
then why should I fucking care, Chief? Answer me this. Why should I care? If you don't care, if you don't care on Twitter, if you're not actively improving, I don't have time for you anymore, right? Like, not only are you wasting time, your own time, you're wasting my time at that point, right? And I gotta move on. Yeah,
exactly.
I have to move on with my life physically.
It's like, I got shit to do.
Right. I literally don't have time.
Yeah. There's so many people that I've tried to, like, support over the years, because I genuinely like supporting people. Like, I really do. Mm-hmm. But I realized that it's like, they're okay, or they're not okay with it. Like, they're upset that their content's not doing good, but that's all they talk about. And it's like, I had to get them off of my Twitter timeline, or I had to stop.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I had to stop following them, or whatever it may be. And it sucks, because I hate to be that person, right? Mm-hmm. I hate to be the person that was like, at one point said, hey man, like, you have potential, and then to just like literally not talk to him ever again.
Yeah. Because
that happens. Especially with like the small YouTube community. And especially with like people that aren't like your friends from high school, your friends from college that decide to start a YouTube video because you did. Like, those are different.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the people that you're going to kind of stick around with no matter what. But it's like, if you met somebody through the YouTube space and they have potential, but then they don't go anywhere with that potential, it's like, there's only so much that you can take emotionally from these people.
Right. You know, like, if your attitude stinks, I don't want to talk to you, okay? And I'll try, if I have time, to be like, look, dude, this, and this. And if they're going to go right back to, oh, well, you know, but, like, as soon as you start introducing the but, I already know, like, you don't care, right?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
You know, like, it would be a different thing if I was, you know, in this Discord and, like, everybody I knew, whether it was Parker, Jay, Kyle, Marjack, whoever, like, was just coming up to me and being like, hey, dude, I need some help. I need, you know, this and this. And I'm like, sure, man, I'm here for you. But if this Discord was literally just, yeah, but my life is pain. Like, I don't have time to be around you people, okay? Like, do your own shit. I'm not gonna invite you on my channel for you to complain about your own shit. Are you kidding me? Like, I know people like that, who are like, yo, dude, let me be on your channel. Same. Okay, you're on my channel now. What are you gonna do? So, I uploaded a video and it didn't do... Oh, stop. 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 I don't care. Right?
Exactly.
Because your bad vibes are now going on to my channel, where people who are watching my stuff are now getting those bad vibes and feel bad about their own shit. Nobody wins. If your attitude stinks, I don't want to talk to you. Like, grow up.
Yeah.
You know? And I get it. There's problems, real issues, and I am totally fine with, like, Zach or anybody coming up to me and being like, yo, dude, I need fucking help. If you want help, I'm here for you, man. But you gotta be able to take it. You gotta be able to take the help. If people will not, for whatever means. And fucking... I don't know.
Well, and it's like, I complain about shit too, right?
Yeah, we all do.
Like, I was literally up in the DMs with Jay the other day, and I was like, fuck, dude. My video about an obscure Japanese movie only got 3 views today. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
like I said that in a DM, and I was like, but I know why I got like 3 views. Like, it makes sense. Like, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. It's that self-awareness.
Yeah.
Right? It's that self-awareness. Like, complaining is one thing, but like realizing, like taking a step back and being like, why is this the way it is? That's probably what you should look into. And then when you look into those type of things, you can kind of figure out what's going wrong.
Absolutely.
At least that's been my experience. I mean, I feel like every issue I've had with YouTube in the past, I've been able to kind of figure out why I had that issue and come up with a solution to fix that eventually, to
adapt, if you will.
To adapt, exactly. Actually, mentioning adapting, a lot of big YouTubers have this problem.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I get irritated by when like big YouTubers complain about demonetization.
Oh, all right. Small YouTubers, we're done picking on you for now. We got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Let's get into this.
Like, fuck, dude. I've seen people complain. I'm gonna pick on Keemstar because he's a fucking easy target.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he deserves everything that he gets picked on about.
Amen.
That's right. I'm pro bullying. I don't give a.
Let's bring bullying back.
Let's bring bullying back. No, like, Keemstar posted something one day. He was like, man, I only made $4,000 today on YouTube. YouTube is broken. This needs to be fixed. I'm like, what?
What now? Can you repeat that?
I think I made $4,000 this year.
You were in the poverty line, Chief.
Oh, absolutely. But it's like, are you seriously complaining about this, man? Like, you make millions of dollars doing the thing that you say you love doing. Mm-hmm. And you were not willing to take some losses and adapt and figure out how, like, you can be better at what you do. Mm-hmm. Especially with someone like Keemstar, who could do a lot to make his content better.
He definitely has the resources to. I don't know, why, but...
You see this man's thumbnails? Yeah.
Duty.
It's amazing.
Booty hole. There's this idea that as soon as you get an audience and as soon as you become a bigger YouTuber, that everything that you like or dislike or don't care about or care about matters to that audience. And that's not necessarily the case, What's important to you might not be important to the 60 million fucking people subscribing to you. Like, there's a lot of diversity and a lot of variety in that. Some people who know about YouTube, some that don't, some that care, some that will care, won't care, whatever. You can't expect anything from them. You can't, be like, hey, audience, fucking support the causes I care about. Not necessarily. They don't have to at all. Really. They're not entitled to it. They're not expected to it. And like you said, complaining about making $4,000, a lot of people just don't care, and it's their right to. Absolutely.
It's the perspective. It's the lack of perspective there.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing to me. That a lot of big YouTubers don't have is just like perspective, especially within their audience.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, you going on Twitter complaining about the amount of money that you made today is not something that a lot of people are going to relate to.
Yeah, or want to hear. Yeah.
Or want to hear. Honestly.
Fun fact, yeah.
It's like, I don't care, man.
Do we want to...
And I only see Keemstar shit on Twitter because everybody that I follow follows Keemstar, and I don't understand.
I don't follow him. So...
I don't either.
There's that. You want to... Okay. Let's mention this this adpocalypse, if you will.
Yes.
A lot of bigger YouTubers complaining about the adpocalypse and how they're not making any money, and how they're just not watching the videos like they used to. And then there's two ways you can go about this, of being like, hey, adpocalypse is bad, I get it, but I'm gonna continue and change my content up to combat that. And on top of this, I'm gonna spread the word about the adpocalypse and try to offer up solutions. Versus the, oh, my videos are now demonetized, it's your guys' fault that you're not watching my stuff. Like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. Hold on, Chief.
There's the amount of people that have complained about the adpocalypse since it started.
Yeah.
Is mind-blowing.
Not offering any solutions, not offering any changes to their channel or format, not adapting, and basically, bottom line, blaming their own fucking viewers for not supporting you.
It's just like, I've known for a couple of years, like, different ways to make money with YouTube that's not AdSense.
Yeah.
And, like, if I had the audience to support those means of getting that income, like, I would not complain about YouTube ad revenue at all. Like, I would not even care about the YouTube ad revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's amazing to me, because there's, like, so many, like, opportunities out there to where you can be even more successful and even more, like, financially lucrative.
In this day and age, yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, but instead, like, you're just complaining about the YouTube AdSense. And it's like, if I made YouTube AdSense money right now, like, that'd be really dope, and I would much appreciate that, because I gotta pay rent. But it's also like, if I'm at the point where I'm actually making a decent amount, where I'm making living money from AdSense, then it tells me that there's also a way that I could be making even more money through sponsorships and affiliates and
merch,
like all these other things.
Patreon.
Merch.
Like, there's 1,000 fucking ways to do this, guys. You don't have to have it all through one fucking funnel. You know, like, there's ways to go around it.
Yeah. My favorite was Mr. Super Mario Logan. Who is, for the people that don't know, which I would assume is the vast majority of people.
If you remember early YouTube back in their heyday, like, there was some good shit there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I still watch Super Mario Logan. I found this channel about a year and a half ago through a friend of mine, and it's puppet and plushie videos, and I know that sounds fucking weird. It is weird, but they're also, like, actually entertaining. There's some writing behind it, kind of like sitcom writing that goes behind it, and whatever. The content itself it's entertaining and enough, but it also targets kids a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like the majority of his audience is kids. Anyways, adpocalypse happened. This man, I've never heard somebody complain more about AdSense. Every single video you would hear, oh, his channel got entirely demonetized. And every single video you would just have, like, this 3 minutes of Logan on camera, which is not what I came for.
Right.
When I clicked on his video, talking about being demonetized and not having ad money and, oh no, my life sucks. Meanwhile, he has this entire audience of, like, kids where all he has to do is set up, like, a merch store, and I'm willing to bet he'd have, like, 1 million people with buying t-shirts that have the word Jeffy on it, because that's his main character.
Yeah, with the amount of memes and original jokes that he's come up with over the years, like, you can't tell me if you put, like, a couple of them on a shirt and charge, like, ridiculously low for it, you wouldn't make a killing off of that shit.
Yeah, and he recently did that. After, like, a year and a half, he finally did that. He finally made a Patreon. He finally did these other things. But it was just amazing to me that for, like, months on end, he just continued to complain about not having ad money. I'm like, well, do something about it then.
Yeah. Your attitude matters. You know? Big YouTubers, small YouTubers, whoever you are, man. How you portray yourself on camera and how you act says a lot, you know? And I get it,
Definitely.
like, behind the scenes, you don't want to talk about, like, your personal life and shit, and that's totally fine, totally respectable. But if you are going to complain or talk about an issue or whatever. You have to bring awareness and you have to present a solution to it. And here we go with this shit. Like, fucking PewDiePie, my guy. You know, YouTuber #1 extraordinaire. One of my favorite fucking videos, not just on his channel, but on the entire site, was a video he released recently called "Can We Stop Doing This?" or "Stop Doing This," or whatever it was. In which he talked about how the copy striking system that's in place, where YouTubers can just copy strike other channels, even mentioning them in a negative light, and take all the money. He did like a whole fucking like 20-minute video showing all these examples and talking about like how hypocritical it is and how like the system's only getting worse and all this sort of stuff, and presenting solutions of being like, hey, like we need to grow up and get better about this, and we need to realize that like if somebody says something bad about you, that you don't have to like fucking go for their wallet and take all their money just because they said that. Like, you know, we need to have a level of maturity about this and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about right here. This video, this fucking example. Here's a problem. Here are the issues behind it. Here are a couple of examples. And here's what we need to do. Mixed in with like humor and bits of PewDiePie nonsense, right? Like, perfect.
Right, of course.
Fucking perfect. You spread awareness. You let YouTube know. You tell what's going wrong, you know, and how to fix it. Like, shit like that's helpful. Shit like that's constructive. Shit like that adds to people's lives. And because it's PewDiePie, the #1 channel on planet Earth, like, everybody's gonna know about this now. It's not gonna be this hidden topic that lays in obscurity where people can just continue to take advantage of channels without, like, any repercussions. Now people are actively looking for this shit. That's creating a change, using your audience in a responsible way to be like, hey, look what we can do when we all come together. Let's fix the site that we're on, despite the issues, despite the problems that it has. Let's actively work together for a solution. Instead of, I got demonetized, and it's YouTube's fault, and I'm gonna quit the channel.
Pretty much.
But right? Like, you know,
No, I agree.
It takes work, obviously. It's a lot more work to do the PewDiePie video than the Super Mario Logan one complaining about AdSense. But when you have an audience like that, you owe it to yourself to present yourself in a way where you're presenting solutions.
Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with complaining about things. I really don't. I think that complaining is something that has to happen in society and platforms so that we know what, like,
the issues are,
what's going wrong. Yeah. Exactly. We know what the issues are. But it's that fact that we have to talk about the solutions, or nothing's going to change.
Yeah. You got to take action.
And yeah. And then that's one of the reasons, like, we're doing this episode of the podcast. One is because it's cathartic as hell to just vent. But also because it's like, these are real issues that we see within the YouTube community, and maybe by talking about them, as small as our audience is, it'll change something. Who knows? Mm-hmm. At least bring awareness to a couple more people.
Yeah. And
it's like, that's dope. I'm cool with that.
I am too. I like to think that even amidst all our complaining in this episode and other episodes, that we provide something of value. So,
same.
To make it all worth it.
Yep. So, like, we've complained a lot so far.
Yeah.
But we haven't really talked about the platform itself.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
They're next on the shit list, for sure.
It's funny because, like, YouTubers complain about YouTube all the time, and the fact that we ended up complaining about YouTubers more than anything is ironic in itself.
Well, I mean, they're part of the problem.
Like, yeah, definitely. But, like, YouTube's done some shitty things that I'm not a big fan of, too.
Yeah. And we owe it to ourselves to mention that side of the story as well. Kind of give a fuller perspective on that sort of thing. Shoot. I guess we can...
I think...
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the thing that frustrates me the most about YouTube's platform is the whole quality versus quantity thing.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about it a lot, and I still stand by the exact same opinion I've mentioned before, that in order to be successful on YouTube, it takes quality and quantity.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why, like, I continuously am, like, working on my own workflow and trying to make better videos, but also trying to put more of them out. But I can't not say that doesn't irritate me too.
Right. There definitely is a problem with YouTube, the platform, of, like I mentioned before in previous episodes, conditioning you and your channel into this never-ending fucking rat race in which you're always trying to be on the edge of your seat, always trying to talk about the trendiest topic, always trying to, blow the bar off and do something even more edgy or even more disturbing, or, anything.
Right.
Anything to get a rise out of people. Anything to get people to click on your videos, right? And people are like, oh, people like Logan Paul and Jake Paul, they're awful. Like, they did the Suicide Force thing, they did a boxing match thing, they did all these shitty, awful ideas. They wouldn't be a thing if YouTube didn't condition that and prioritize that. And sure, we should blame Logan, and we should blame Jake. We should also blame the environment that they were put in.
Definitely. I think the biggest thing that irritates me with this is when YouTube made the shift arguably from quality to quantity, right? Like, there's an arguable shift of YouTube to where, like, if you're able to put out more videos, chances are you're going to do better than somebody that just puts out 1 or 2 videos a month. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just the statistics there. I think the biggest thing that irritates me there is that it ended up stopping some creatives, some creators from, like, putting out their videos, because it's like, what's the point? They're not going to do well because the algorithm hides my 10-minute animation video that took me fucking forever to make. Like, that kind of sucks. I do think that it limits creativity to a certain extent on the platform.
Yo, speaking of that, did you see that tweet by YouTube?
Yes.
What are your favorite animation channels? Like, YouTube themselves got onto Twitter and literally tweeted, yo, what are some of your favorite animation channels on YouTube? And the fucking responses to that thread are
they're great,
glorious. Of, like,
it's like, I don't remember. I haven't seen them in a while.
Really, YouTube? You're gonna pour some gas on the fire there? Okay, like, your call there. And I get it. Right. Like, there are obviously animation channels that are still around that more focus on, like, lifestyle and vlogs and shorter content, but
story time.
Yeah, story time shit.
Yeah.
And that's probably what they were expecting. What they got was an angry animation community who has since been shafted for several years now, and rightfully so.
Exactly.
Like, they were better off staying on Newgrounds, honestly, if they knew that this was the rabbit hole they were going down. Oh,
definitely.
But, like, you have to make that decision because YouTube's getting bigger day in and day out, and because of that, they're allowed to do anything and get away with it, regardless of whether it's helpful to creators or not.
Right.
Sometimes it's good stuff, and sometimes it's not.
It's like when I see... Here's an example of something that really irritated me recently. And I actually have a Your Everyday Nerd episode out about this coming this week. But, the YouTuber Anna Akana? Have you heard of her?
The name sounds familiar. What video did she do?
Well, she's a pretty big YouTuber. She's got, like, almost 2.5 million subscribers, been around for like 10 years. She does, like, these shorter, like, help-based content.
Oh, okay.
But they're very creative.
I see.
They always have, like, these little animated bits in it, and they're, like, directed well. They're pretty good. But she put out recently a, like, 5-minute stop-motion animated video.
Oh, I haven't heard of this.
It talks about, like... You have or you haven't?
I haven't. No, this is new to me.
Okay. I'd recommend watching that after we get done with the podcast.
Okay.
It's about... So, when she was younger, her sister committed suicide.
Oh.
And it's like, really fucking sad. But she talked about it. She talks about it, like, periodically throughout her content and how it's, like, affected her and stuff. but she made like this beautiful 5-minute stop motion animated like short film thing about it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like something that should have like 10 million views right now. Should have gotten on trending, all that kind of stuff. But it has like a little bit under 200,000 views.
Yeah, I'm seeing her channel page. The next video she did, it was like 230.
Yeah, it did better. And even then, like the rest of her videos, I think deserve like at least 1 million views per. But it's just crazy to me that like that's something that put a lot of time was put into, a lot of money was put into. Mm-hmm. And it's creative as hell, but YouTube isn't pushing it.
Right.
And we know that YouTube has that power because look at their trending page.
Oh, the trending page.
But it's
the embodiment of everything wrong.
Yeah.
Jesus
it's frustrating.
Christ. I hate this fucking page.
It's so frustrating.
I hate it. This might be like Twitter moments and YouTube trending might be like the two worst things I've seen in a social media ever. And that's saying a lot.
Absolutely.
Does Facebook exist?
Like, oh, did you know that Soulja Boy put out a new song? I didn't, but I just found out. That's cool.
Great.
Glad that's a thing.
I hate this fucking
thing. It definitely makes me feel like it's like as YouTube gets bigger and as they continue to like go out more, they keep trying to do these things like YouTube originals, where they get YouTubers and they make like these bigger and better projects. But then when YouTubers actually go out and make those bigger and better projects on their own, mm-hmm. It's very unlikely that it's going to get the eyes that it deserves.
Right.
Based on another Fortnite video, right? Like it's, yeah.
And then if you're...
That's one of the biggest things that frustrates me.
And then if you don't have that money and you don't have that production value, well, like, too bad, because all these late night hosts are now going to take up the trending page alongside fucking talk shows, Vivo, fucking NBA recaps, or Will Smith, or fucking whatever. Like, you know? Like, in a space where YouTube is going to promote, like, movie trailers, music, talk show hosts, late night stuff, or YouTube originals, that leaves very little room, frankly, for anybody not one of those two things to come in and sneak in and hit them with a video. And typically, they're only going to pick the ones that do well or that trend, right? So God forbid you do anything that's evergreen. God forbid you do anything that like has any value outside of in the moment shit, because chances are you're not going to be put on the trending page, or YouTube's not even going to notice you. And they're allowed to do it, you know, legally.
Oh yeah, I mean it's their platform. Technically, they can do whatever they want, right?
Right.
And it is what it is. Like all of these complaining things about the platform, they literally it is what it is. Like we can't do anything to change it.
Right.
But I will say, like, take for instance the last Shane Dawson documentary. Did you see that?
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Did you watch any of it? Okay. It was about Jake Paul. It was this like entire like 8-part Jake Paul documentary, and everybody was talking about how great it was. And I watched a good bit of it actually. I was genuinely interested in like what this dude was going to do with this documentary. And then one of the clients that I work for did a lot of videos on it, so I had to watch the rest of it. But at the end of the day, like it's, as far as the production quality goes, it's fine. Mm-hmm. It's definitely more than a traditional vlog. There's a little bit more editing and thought put into it, more than a vlog. But the reason it got trending, the reason it has like 10 million views per episode, is because it's about Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's just like reality TV at that point, and that's kind of frustrating.
I think we've reached the point in YouTube for bigger YouTubers and people wanting more out of the site. They'll keep upping production value, and they'll keep trying to do bigger projects, and they'll keep trying to do things like TV shows or documentaries or films or whatever. Mm-hmm. We're going to start reaching this point of diminishing returns where that stuff isn't gonna matter anymore to YouTube, and it's gonna happen gradually, and it's gonna happen over time. But unless you're able to somehow make it topical or short, it's not going to matter. Which is why I hear people like Gerard, the completionist, which is why I hear people with like really big production values are trying to find some way to make that higher produced stuff, but they can't because YouTube's only going to let them do the shit that they're well known for, like Let's Plays or the completionist or a podcast or a vlog. Like, they're not actively encouraging people to make those bigger projects. Why should you try?
And it's sad.
You know?
Like, it genuinely saddens me because...
And if you do, it won't do well.
That used to be what the platform was about. Right. Like, it's about the rags to riches stories of these people that started making videos in their room and are able to, like, make these big projects one day. Like, I want to make a film one day. I want to make a mini series. I want to do, like, these bigger projects. But I know now... that like doing those on YouTube is not going to be the way I'll do them.
Yeah, there's a ceiling there, I think, for sure.
Absolutely. One of the creators I watch, Ralph the Movie Maker, he's a movie maker, and he put out his like first debut film recently, but he didn't upload it to YouTube, and I think that was a smart decision because he could have, and honestly, it would have just gotten like maybe a couple 100,000 views, if that, and then just moved on from there. Instead, he was able to sell it on his own website as a Blu-ray form, and then sell it for like $5 on Amazon and fucking Vimeo. And I think that was a smart move. Mm-hmm. Because, like you said, there's definitely a ceiling for those things.
And part of it scares me, the fact that like me and you are going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and make bigger and better projects and all that sort of shit. Mm-hmm. But me and you are going to have to realize that we're going to hit one day when it's going to be like, well, now what? Right? When we've hit those goals that we wanted, when we've made those videos that we needed, when the production value has gone up as high as it can possibly go, where you and me are just going to have to sit and be like, okay, now what? Do we keep doing this for like 7 or 8 years, right? Do we keep making content that we've done already? Do we try to use YouTube as sort of like a support mechanism to where we work on bigger projects and then have the YouTube audience go support that? Do we try breaking it in on like Vimeo, or do we try like going to work in the real world? Like, it scares me that we're just going to reach that point and then just stop because it no longer makes sense to do so. And every day YouTube is pushing to that more and more. That ceiling's getting smaller, frankly. That's the other thing we gotta talk about. I don't know how YouTube is going to be in 5 to 10 years. That scares me.
That's true. Yeah. And none of us really do. And it's going to be... I don't know. It might be eye-opening in 5 to 10 years. It might be the exact same. Just like more people are making videos and the threshold for quality continues to go higher. But at that point, hopefully we'll be at some level where that won't matter as much. I don't know. But I will say, like, I've definitely thought ahead a few years. I've definitely thought, you know, what am I going to do after Your Everyday Nerd becomes, like, a show where everybody knows exactly what's going to come out of it. There's nothing interesting else that I can do with it. What am I going to do at that point? And I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep making the show, but I'm going to be putting more of my own personal time into these bigger projects that I want to do and start outsourcing more of the like grunt work. Yeah. Of Your Everyday Nerd to other people. Like, the editing, I'm going to like completely leave up to somebody else at some point. I'm going to try to keep the writing the same. I'm going to try to keep hosting as long as possible, but eventually, like, I want to start additional channels for spin-offs of Your Everyday Nerd. So there's like an entire TV show version of it, but with a different host. Mm-hmm. Like, because I know that there's going to be a ceiling for it. And I know that the only way at that point that I can grow from whatever number that is, I don't know what it's going to look like. It could be 50,000 subscribers. It could be 20 million subscribers. Who the fuck knows?
Right.
I don't know.
We're still a long way out.
But it's like, Right, but I know that like when that ceiling hits for Your Everyday Nerd, I'm not gonna stop making the show. I'm gonna keep on pushing it out. But I'm gonna start like the only way that it can grow from there is just by making more episodes, and they're not gonna work on that one channel. So I'm just gonna like make other channels and have other people host and have other people write and just kind of have like, me be more of an overseer than anything at that point, so that I can spend my time making a movie or a TV show or a game or whatever it may be off of YouTube, because I know that those aren't going to do well on the same YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't agree with that 100%. I'm not sure quite what I'm going to do, but I think the important thing to note here is that, like, YouTube is not the end game, right? It can't
absolutely.
It can't be the end game. As much as YouTube would like you to think that you could do this forever and ever, either YouTube's going to give out or you are first, frankly. Whether you yourself decide to do something different or whether YouTube forces you to, because that's how the platform is going. I'm not sure which one's going to happen first with me. I'm not sure what's going to happen first for a lot of channels. But the point's still the same. YouTube cannot be your end game. It can be an avenue to that. It can be a great starting point. You can transition into it and out to other things.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't be the end goal anymore. And that's sad, because it's like, we do a podcast about YouTube and we have all these creators who are on YouTube, and like, we're all here for each other and all this sort of stuff. And the idea of being like, oh, journey's over. Because we care more about the journey and the progress, right? And for that to be over on one platform and having to like continue it somewhere else, kind of scary and kind of sad at the same time, And I get it, it's the right thing to do, but like, it doesn't make it any less scary, I guess, is the word to use.
For sure. I think one of the things that's going to like impact a lot of people's decisions as to what they're going to do in 5-10 years on YouTube, if they've become successful, if they've got a platform, if they've got an audience on here, I think the biggest thing that's going to impact that is like how much more they want. Like, how much more ambitious are you after you've made it, quote unquote, made it on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Because theoretically, you could just keep going until the channel runs down into the ground and you're more of an obscure figure in the community than where you once were. But if like you live a modest life and you save money, like theoretically you could be good for a long time and not have to worry about working any other jobs or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's very possible. But then I know for some people, especially like myself, like, I want to keep on creating and
bigger and better things,
pushing the boundary. Yeah. Exactly. And so like, I know that I'm gonna have to like keep doing this kind of stuff somewhere. And like, I have some of those, like I said, I have some of those like plans kind of thought out a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's just gonna come down to when it comes, when it gets there.
Right.
Because for all I know, YouTube could just not work out and I could be a janitor for the next 20 years. Like, let's be honest.
It could happen.
Right?
You never know.
It could happen. You never know. But it's like, hopefully I believe in myself enough and I know what kind of work needs to be done. Then I'm not completely full of shit. And things will work out in a nice manner. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people complain about the future too much.
That's true.
When in reality, it's like,
not as bad as you make it out.
You gotta, right? That, and the only way that you can affect the future is if you pay attention to what you're doing, like literally right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
We had gotten a topic suggestion of like doing an update on YouTube alternatives, and
yeah,
that's kind of something that annoys us. Is like, right now, at the very least, in 2019, January 20th, as we're recording this, you're not going anywhere else but YouTube. Either because these other platforms are dying, like gone, literally, or they're trying to grow and they're not relevant enough yet for most people to jump ship. Nor will they ever be, perhaps, unless something drastically changes. Part of my pet peeve with YouTube in general is just how much of a fucking monolith it is.
Titan it is, yeah.
How much it fucking controls literally almost everything video ever. And it sucks that, like, there's no, well, hey, fuck you, I'm gonna do my own thing. And there is. There absolutely is. I know of examples. I hear about them on Twitter all the time. But they have so much fucking catching up to do before I can be like, yeah, fuck YouTube. I'm gonna do my own shit. Like, whatever.
Well, it's like...
We're prisoners, almost. We're in a garden wall.
For me, it's like, what on earth is gonna happen to Google in the next 10, 15, 20 years that'll make Google irrelevant? That'll make, and therefore make YouTube irrelevant? Because as long as Google's relevant, YouTube's relevant.
Right.
And I think it's clear to say that with, like, Google Chrome being one of the most used browsers for internet, Android being, like, the only competitor to iPhones, like, I just don't see anything in the near, like, 20 years into the future where Google is just going to shut down all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. And if it comes to that, then I feel like we might have bigger issues to fry than, it's YouTube's down, right?
Yeah.
But
that's true.
I don't know.
That's absolutely true. I don't know.
It's like the only future I see where Google is shut down is like it's the post-apocalyptic world. 20 nukes have been shot.
You're right, like worst, like
all
worst
over the place
scenario.
And like now we need to focus on getting food. Like fuck your YouTube videos.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, like it's probably still gonna be a thing for a good while. And because of that, if they decide to change a rule or an algorithm or whatever, you're in that position where like, all right, adapt or die, let's go. And
right.
That's a good skill to have, and that's fun to have. But man, if it doesn't get tiring when it happens every fucking month, like pick something and stick to it at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
But things move fast.
And I think there's,
I
think to a certain extent, once you kind of figure out your ground, figure out your footing on YouTube, I don't think you have to do as much adapting.
Sure.
At a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, I think you can ride a wave of success for a while without adapting too much. But even people like PewDiePie, like, big ass channel with like 20 million subscribers doing Let's Plays, had to change his content strategy. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of those are more personal reasons. But even then, I don't think PewDiePie would be as relevant today if he was still just doing Let's Plays.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I wouldn't be watching him.
Change was necessary. And good change is a thing, for sure. Obviously, we spent a lot of the episode talking about that, but there definitely is another side to things where, like, continuing to try to stay relevant is a bit iffy. Let me ask you this. How do you feel, because I've gone back and forth on this, like, how do you feel about the quote-unquote corporate YouTube, right? On some days, I'm like, this is a bad thing. YouTube is for the people. Mm-hmm. We should be able to create whatever we want. And then on the other hand of things, I'm like, well, we were the ones asking to be monetized. And as soon as we got monetized and money was involved, well, then businesses got involved. And then in order for them to be profitable, they have to do this. And if they're not profitable, like, we don't exist. I've gone back and forth, and I'd love to hear what you have to say.
I think it's very much a dichotomy of the two. And I think that I agree with both sides. And I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but I do. Like, I agree with both sides. It sucks that, like, YouTube has gone this corporate route. And they have. Like, at this point in time, they have definitely gone corporate. There's no denying it. Like, you can't say a bad word on the platform without having the chances of being demonetized.
Right.
And that's a bit ridiculous when the majority of the content on your platform that made it successful was like edgy humor and content and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But also, like you said, like, we wouldn't be able to stick around if we kept that edgy humor all the time because advertisers would stop putting their money into YouTube, and then we wouldn't be making money in the first place.
Right. And like, what's better in that point? Like, would you rather have the glory days of creative freedom YouTube last forever if you don't make any money? Or would you rather it be like it is now, where like you can make money and you can make a career and you can have fun creating things, but not everything, right? There's still that wall there of topics you can't discuss, boundaries you can't cross, words you can't say. Not all the freedom that you had, but some of it, and you can make money. Like, both have their advantages. Both are still valuable. But both kind of suck as well.
Yeah. Agreed. I think they both suck. I think I don't really get mad about it because I noticed that when I could just throw in a cuss word in any video I wanted and not have any issue with it, and not in YouTube not having an issue with it in the future when I actually do make money directly from YouTube, like, I realized that when I had to change a little bit of my content for that, the content became better.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I was using different words than, fuck a lot. And, like, that's cool. That's good. That's growth. As a writer, as a human being, like, that's cool. But then it's also, like, you do still have shows like South Park that are still making millions of dollars from the exact same humor that Let's Players do right now. So, again, I think it's a dichotomy.
Right.
I did a video about the YouTube Rewind, which ironically we didn't talk about on this platform, I don't think, or this podcast.
No, we didn't. We both made videos about it, and we both
we did, yeah,
memed it in specific categories, but yeah, we never actually talked about it on here.
But I made a video that was titled like YouTube Rewind is not for you, and I still completely agree with it. I don't think that like that was a corporate project to get advertisers to still be invested in YouTube, and the amount of people that were pissed about it being bad, like, is a lot of people, because they don't realize that video wasn't for them.
Right, in the first place. And eventually, there will be a point where I feel like if it gets a big enough stink, and if people boycott it enough, then YouTube will have to, like, for the advertiser's sake, change it up to be a little bit better. But I do think right now that, like, obviously, like, this past one got shit on to oblivion. It had a lot of problems. They're gonna do one next year. Like,
Yeah.
No amount of fuck you in the world is gonna be like, yeah, but we're still gonna make money, so. I don't really care. Meme us all you want. Like, make us the most disliked video that's only gonna get more attention to it anyway. Like,
exactly.
Think we care about any of that shit? Like, probably not. Like, so defeating.
I think I bring up the YouTube Rewind because so many... It's because YouTube... Okay, here's the problem that I have with YouTube being corporate.
Yeah,
right?
Go ahead.
They are corporate. They're very much... Like, we know that.
Yeah.
But they don't want us to know that.
Yeah.
They want to still be this family-friendly... Or not family-friendly. They still want to be like this creator-friendly company that asks you on Twitter what your favorite animators are on the platform. Meanwhile, like, it's the same thing with big creators being out of touch. Like, YouTube is out of touch.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's like, if you want to go ahead and say, like, here's our new YouTube Rewind. It's not like the old ones that was for you guys and for the viewers and the creators. This one is for, the advertisers. Be completely okay with it. Be like, all right, cool, I get you.
Yeah.
But when you're purposely making a video saying that this is for everyone, we're gonna make sure that this is for everyone, it's so disingenuous, and it creates the people that get pissed off because, hey man, like, you said this is for us, but it clearly wasn't.
Right. And they were clearly lying about it in order to get more people invested in it. And I guess that's, like,
exactly
my big pet peeve with YouTube, the platform. I don't really have any after this. This is the last one I had. Was just, like, a lack of fucking communication. Or honest communication, at the very least. Of YouTube being like, we're so fucking big. Like, we don't have to talk to anybody about what we do. And, when we do talk about stuff, let's just hide a lot of information. And let's not tell the whole story. And let's skirt around a bunch of different issues because we can and because we're fucking big, right? When in actuality, YouTube, if you're listening, please take this idea. Communicating honestly about your intentions, both what you're doing, how you're doing, and where you want to be, long term, will make you more fucking money than constantly trying to lie and swindle people into thinking that they're in a better place when they're not. Because people love honest companies. People love fucking memeable Wendy shit, memeable Arby shit. If YouTube was open and honest about everything they did, you know how much bigger their platform would be? You know how much more innovative people making videos would be if they actually cared about their platform? But they don't. And they don't want to communicate that. And so, we have a lot of people in the dark. We have a lot of people who have no idea what they're fucking doing. We have a whole YouTube help scene. A scene that literally emerged out of the fact that YouTube doesn't fucking tell you any of this. Right? People making money off of that. When YouTube could totally just be like, hey man, this is the problem. This is how we're going to fix it. This is why we're doing it. Honest and open. And if people don't like our opinion, we're still making money anyway. But the least we could do to the billions and billions of fucking people on this platform, some of whom are trying to make a living, by the by, the least we could do to those people is to be honest about it. But they're never going to. And that fucking wrecks me to my core. Like, fuck off, man. Really?
Yeah, it's that disconnect that just continues to, like, it just continues to get more and more disconnected, and that's, again, it's sad. It's more sad than it does piss me off, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, if like you're honest to your creators, you're honest to your viewers, like I think that a lot more people would have a better peace of mind at what they're doing. And instead, like, you're just being corporate shills, and that, you know, we just have to deal with it. We just have to bend over and say, all right, YouTube.
Right.
I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like it.
I'm going to take it.
I'm going to take it. Yeah.
It would take no effort to fucking do that. And that's what bothers me. Is they have all this fucking resources and money and the largest search engine and platforms and ways of communicating. So many different ways of communicating in this digital age. And YouTube's like, nope. The more secret we are, the better. You know, we got to be like fucking Apple. No. Keep everything in the fucking dark, so that you're forced.
I will
to interact with us.
I will say that it's gotten better and worse on both ends. Like, they've continued to do things that are like shitty more and more over the last like 2 years, but then also they're continuing to like improve that communication. It's just the gap is so wide that it's going to take a lot more than what they're doing to fix it. Like, they have the YouTube creator blog, which posts a bunch of updates. They have a YouTube channel directly from like some of the people that work at YouTube, and that's dope. Like, it has some interesting and valuable information there. The problem is that there's still a lot of like hidden information. There's still a lot of like, oh, we're experimenting with your sub box today.
Like, what?
Don't mind us.
What? No, don't, please. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it wouldn't bother me if they were just like, hey, for this couple of days, we're going to experiment with your sub box, and we're going to do this, this, and this, and then on this day, all your shit will go back to normal. We're sorry about this, but it's for the betterment of the platform, and we're doing it for honest and good reasons. Cool.
Right.
Go ahead, do your little fucking experiment. I'm not making any money. Have fun. Like, whatever. But the fact that, like, the experiment happens, right, with nobody knowing, and the reasons behind it, nobody knows, and then only after the fact, when people have bitched and complained about it, are they like, oh yeah, we did this, but we wouldn't. Like, you were caught red-handed in the fucking cookie jar, and that's when you're gonna admit it? When everybody's fucking mad at you for not being honest? You're gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna wait till people get mad about it before we actually tell anybody. Like, there's a reason you have this reputation, YouTube. There's this reason people feel like you're dishonest about stuff. It's because it takes people on Twitter bitching enough for you to be like, oh yeah, we did this thing like a month ago. What? Maybe I would have liked to known. You know?
That'd been nice. And I feel like the big reason that we expect these kind of things out of YouTube, and maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't expect YouTube to do anything but be a place where we upload our videos and we have to deal with the repercussions and of what happens, right? maybe that should be our mindset. And for the most part, like, that is my mindset on this platform. But I think the reason that we have these expectations is because our viewers on our individual channels have these exact same expectations from us.
Yeah.
When we make a change, like, they expect us to explain why we made that change. And so we do it.
Yeah.
You know, at least the good people do it, right?
Hopefully.
And like, when we experiment with something, like, our viewers, especially our dedicated viewers, like, expect us to mention, hey guys, we're gonna be experimenting with upload days. We're gonna change our days from Monday and Wednesday to Tuesday and Thursday. Like, that is what the viewers expect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why creators expect it from YouTube.
Exactly.
But I don't know, maybe we shouldn't expect that from YouTube. Who knows?
Yeah, we definitely are a lot more open as YouTubers than YouTube is itself. I think there is a bit of a difference, though, between, like, us being like, hey, this is why I'm doing this thing, hope you understand, and YouTube being like, we're not going to tell you, and it'll affect your livelihood. Like,
right.
At the very least, when we make an update video, right, and we explain why we're doing these things, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really hurt anybody, per se. And, you know, nobody's getting screwed over. And most viewers, at least ones that are understandable, realize that we're doing this, you know, to help make the content better in the long run, right? Like, it comes from a place of genuineness, as opposed to, we're not going to be genuine or honest, and you're also going to lose money because of it. You know?
Right. That is true. I think it also, one of the reasons I try not to complain about YouTube too much is because every change that they do make is to keep viewers on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, when people complain about YouTube, it's not the viewers that are complaining.
Right.
It's very rarely the viewers that's complaining.
It's us.
it's the creators that complain.
Yeah.
Like, we complain because they change something that makes us have to work a little bit harder to grow our channels or be successful or whatever. And, like, that's just the reality of it. And that's why I'm trying to, like, do better about not complaining about YouTube. It's why I don't really make a whole lot of public complaints on Twitter about this new change that YouTube made. Because at the end of the day, like, there's nothing I can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like, the viewers are benefiting out of these changes, most likely, because it's giving the viewers exactly what they want when they want it.
I mean,
and so, go ahead.
The platform continues to grow, right? Like, obviously they're doing something right, you know?
Exactly. And that's what we got to realize, I guess, is that we can keep making these complaints, but they ain't gonna change nothing for us.
Right. Yeah. And that sort of goes back to the first part of the podcast where we were like, all right, nitpicking and whatever isn't gonna change anything. Like, we still have to get better and everything. And hopefully, through all these changes, in an ideal world, would lead us to making even better content and pushing that ceiling up. Right?
Right.
Hopefully YouTube is doing it to sort of nudge us into being like, yo, what if you fix that lighting a little bit? Or what if you, like, you know, introduce a little bit of script writing in this? Or, like, what if you filmed a little bit on location? Or, like, slowly dropping hints at being like, hey, yeah, we know it's impossible to compete with, like, a YouTuber editor or late night host, but you could get closer. You could close that gap. You know?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the creation of Your Everyday Nerd wouldn't have happened if I wasn't thinking, how can I please the algorithm but also make content I'm proud of?
Wow.
And I'm, like, super happy with this show. I'm excited for more episodes. Like, I feel like it's some of the best content I've ever put out. And I wouldn't have done that had I stopped trying to be a variety channel and try to niche my channel down, because that's what gets the views.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's why, like, this episode, more or less, the only solution it really solves is, like, giving us therapy.
Therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is important sometimes. I do think that venting is a a beneficial thing. But also, like, again, these complaints, like you said, can push us in the right direction and push us to do better as creators.
Yeah. Some people will be blind to it and be like, whatever, fuck you. But, you know, people who enjoy what they're doing or love what they're doing and trying to grow, being like, maybe you do have a point.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's such a... Okay. I said I didn't have any more pet peeves. I have one more, actually. Okay. And this is a problem with the community and not necessarily, like, YouTube itself. We've gotten to the point now where we are so cynical about fucking everything.
Oh, yeah.
About our content, our viewers, the platform, whatever. Like, we have been beaten down, thrown in the shitter, like, nothing has gone right. And rather than being like, let me make things better, we have, in a sense, just formed even bigger, like, pity parties. So we're trying to
everything's the end of the world.
Yeah, everything's like a problem. And it shouldn't be.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with this. It's kind of like the philosophy of, one of the philosophies of, like, Gary Vaynerchuk is, you know, like, stop complaining about shit and, like, make it better.
Yeah.
Because the more you complain, the more time you're just sitting there doing the same thing over and over again that's not working, and it's clear it's not working, so why are you still doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There's so many things that, like, I complained about back in the day, and just by realizing, hey, that's out of my control, or hey, that is out of my control, let me do or that is in my control, let me do something about it.
Right. What can I actively change here?
Right. I think that was one of my highlights of 2018. Like I mentioned it in our, like, little video sending off that year. Like, just being self-aware and realizing that it's not the end of the world for certain things, and that I can actually change things, and that's pretty dope.
Yeah, very much. We are very much still in control and have the chance to, you know, make things better about all these different vents that we've talked about in one form or another. Like, you want things to stop being so cynical? We'll start putting out more positive fucking content, right? Mm-hmm. You want YouTube to stop being shallow? Then do a podcast and add value, right? Like, oh, my channel isn't working. Find ways to actively improve. You know, there's always something we could be doing at any given point. You never stop growing. You never stop learning. You never stop trying new things. And if you are at that point where you have stopped, that's probably why you're in the position you are now. So,
yeah,
you know,
pretty much. Again, and it's like, I wholeheartedly have empathy for those people. Like, everybody that, like, we've complained about, every group of people that we've complained about today, I wholeheartedly, like, feel for them. I'm like, I understand where you're coming from, but, like, here's what you can do to make things better. And so, like, I still have hope for these people, right? Like, I hope that they end up growing and getting better, but, you know, they gotta do it themselves.
Yeah.
At this point.
Right. We can't help everybody, you know, without people willing to help themselves. So,
yeah. That's
the thing about this podcast. We could offer all the advice in the world, but if, you know, people aren't willing to take it and just sit there and meander, well, then, like, I guess all we're offering at that point is, like, entertainment value or therapy, which is important too, but, you know,
yeah,
obviously isn't the intent
right
behind it. But we do what we can, you know. We try to get better. We try to improve. And like I've mentioned several times in this episode, I am at one point or another at fault for a lot of this sort of stuff at one point in my life.
Same.
You know, the last thing I want to do is to give everybody the impression that I'm better than everybody, or, like, I've never made these mistakes or whatever. Like, I have, obviously. I just today, just during this podcast, I got rid of the fucking Twitter bot. Like, you know, if that isn't, like, clear enough that I'm still improving and still learning, then hopefully you'll continue to see it in future videos.
I think it shows that, like, we make these complaints about other people, but, like, I also am making some complaints at my past self, right? Like, I wouldn't be able to talk so deeply about these topics if it wasn't for the fact that I was in the exact same place at one point, you know?
Yep.
But,
it comes from a place of love. At the end of the day, if you feel like we were targeting you or bullying you or whatever throughout this episode, like, number one, we're not getting specific for a very good reason. We don't want to fucking lambast anybody.
I love bullying people. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Zach does. I'm not.
I was bullied as a kid, so it's okay.
But the other thing, too, is, like, I'm not being mean to be mean. I'm being mean to be like, hey,
For
dude,
sure.
Here's how you can recognize that this is you and fix yourself, right?
Yeah.
Or try something different. You know? And it's hard. And improving is hard. I get it. You know? We've talked about it a lot in this podcast about how change and improving is hard. But you gotta do it, man. You gotta, you know, try day after day. Something.
Definitely.
Anything. Any form of effort. And if you're not complaining, and if you like what you do, and you don't care if you get big or not, hey man, you keep doing you too. Because that shit's just as valuable.
Definitely.
Alright.
That's where I'd like to be, honestly.
Yeah. If you're small and you're not complaining and you're just continuing to work and you don't care whether you get big or not, like, do you, man. There ain't nothing wrong with that. We're focusing on people who, like, know there's an issue.
Exactly.
So.
I agree. Constructive criticism is good. And, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say on it. I probably do, but, like, we'd be here longer.
We'd be here all day.
I'm going to be real with you. I kind of want to get something to eat soon, so.
That's true. That's valid. Yeah. I think we're done being angry boys for today. The venting has stopped.
Yeah.
You feel better? You feel a little bit better?
I feel better, honestly.
There you go.
I feel better.
Is a mission accomplished.
It made me think I was playing Mega Man 5 throughout this. And I was thinking, man, I really suck at this game.
Yeah.
But, like, talking about some of these things and realizing, like, I just have to adapt and improve my game. I can't be mad at the game, right?
You really can't.
Like, it's all my fault. Like, it helps put things in perspective.
You really do.
Like, I was still mad at the game, but, like, you know.
Fuck Mega Man 5.
Trash put things in perspective. But anyways, we have some comments today.
Some comments?
Our beautiful viewers. That's right, you're beautiful. Don't let nobody else tell you otherwise.
Love yourself, man.
Love yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. We have 3 comments today.
Are they all from the newest episode?
They are.
Okay, cool. I'm on it now, so I can look at all of them.
Hype. I'll let you read the first one. You can pick one. Just pick one. Doesn't matter.
I'll do the patient comment because I like reading them.
Okay.
This one's about medium length, I'd say. Not quite novel standards, but you know, a little bit there.
Novella.
You know? Yeah, but you know, we still got a little bit here. Patient writes, I'll try writing that essay again at some point before 2020. I'd love to see it. One thing I did want to hit on was the difference between stagnation and burnout. Stagnation, I believe, is when you get creatively comfortable. You find a formula that works, it's relatively easy to do, and is constantly received well. Whether or not your content stops grabbing that audience, your content is stagnating. It isn't changing. It's staying exactly the same. It can still be popular and well received, but it doesn't mean it's creatively fulfilling. Stagnation is the halt of creative progress. Burnout, on the other hand, is exhaustion. Your content can be creatively fulfilling, well received, and everything you want as a creator, but you're so focused on your output that you neglect your own physical and mental health. Burnout is working too hard.
At me next time, okay?
LOL. You don't even have to watch the episode now. You can just read that paragraph and pretty much get the basis of it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's a really good summation. I liked what you added here.
I completely agree.
I really like what you added here. Stagnation being the halt of creative process. That's wonderful.
That's a sexy sentence. I don't know about
I could frame some of this shit in like a motivational like quote website. You know?
Absolutely. And I think like we talked about stagnation as far as like channels that weren't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we talked too much about like creative stagnation.
Yeah.
We hit real on it, but like that's the thing.
I agree. Anyway, she says, question of the day. If I saw a channel stagnating, as long as they're willing to listen to me, I tell them to just try something new. Think of something quite different to your current content and just go all out. Put your all into something new and see if it works. Take the gamble. It really depends on if you want to be creatively fulfilled or if you want big number.
I agree.
Hell yeah. Straight up.
Yeah, completely agree on that one.
A lot of what you said here kind of applies to this episode as well. Take the gamble. Take the risk. Go for it if you really want to do it, right? Like, whatever. Question of the day 2. I'm not supporting on Anchor. You two get enough emotional support from my Twitter account at I am the patient. Go hit it up. Wow. She knew we were reading these comments. It was like, let me put my Twitter handle in here. Let me put my Twitter handle there.
That's hilarious.
You should put your Instagram in there next time,
That's
patient.
great. Yeah, exactly.
And then finally, she says, loving the fresh new style, by the way. I really love it. It's so fucking good.
I'm a fan of it, too. As far as the, like I was mentioning earlier, I think it was yesterday in my Discord, somebody had said something about being bored. Parker was talking about being bored.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand how the fuck you can be bored when there's so much out there to do.
Really
and it's like, that's how I feel about, like if your channel stagnating, like Patient said, like, same thing with boredom. Like, just do something different. Do something new.
Agreed.
And it'll, push you in the right direction, I think.
Hell yeah.
Really good comment.
Yeah, a lot of value in that. Honestly, just go read the comment. Don't even watch the last episode. It's good enough. It's good enough shit.
By the way, for the listeners that don't know this, because this is going to go into the Cafro comment, we are reading episodes a week behind because we're a week ahead in the recording schedule.
Yeah.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to us either, but it's happening. So
we're reading episode 33's comments. So 34 will be out by the time by the time this one eventually goes up. But we'll get to episode 34 when it actually uploads, when we can read them. But for now, we're a week ahead. We're reading episode 33's comments. We'll get to all of them eventually. Yeah. That's the important thing.
So Mr. Calfro posted, to answer your question of the day, I'm not supporting you because you ain't reading my damn comment. Get on it and then you'll get your toll, troll. Hey.
Hey.
I think that's the big connect. Hey. I think that's what it is. And then I said LMAO. We read it in the next episode. We got a bit ahead in recording. And he said, crap, now I owe you guys money. So
LOL.
I'm glad he understands how this works.
If only there was an avenue to do
fucking money. Speaking of giving us money, because I'm all about that. If you go to anchor.fm/another-YouTube-podcast, you can support us like Patreon, basically, but for the podcast. I actually took out the Patreon thing in all the descriptions, so it's just like this link now. But you can support us for like $1 a month, $5 a month, or $10 a month. Or I think there's a custom version as well. And that's just if you love us enough that you're like, hey, I have an extra $5 this month. Take it.
Might as well.
Well, it makes my pee hard. I'm not gonna lie. I also want to point out that like we're getting really solid listens on the other platforms lately.
We are, yeah.
And it's nice. It's really nice. I'm not gonna lie. January has been a really good month for us. Just this return. We've gotten more listens this month than we did in like the last 3 months, so that's pretty cool.
I agree. It's been a good time to be a YouTube podcast boy.
I agree.
Anyway, we got another comment.
Last comment.
Yeah. One that we haven't had for a while of kind of like, usually people just comment like, hey, you're doing well, whatever. This is like a problem comment, which I like a lot. That's why we're able to kind of like give advice in a comment, which is really cool. Anyway, it's from a Master. I think I pronounced that right. I don't know.
Yes.
The dude with the dinosaur duck head. Anyway, yeah, my channel is pretty much dead due to the fact that I had a 1-2 punch of both stagnation and burnout at the same time. or very close to it. And I had my channel since 2008. Dang, it's been longer than 10 years. Damn. And well, there's only one true way to bring that back. I have to rebrand and redo / recreate everything. In a way, this is a comment to myself more so than to you, XD. But yeah.
Okay.
Seeing how that I must look at myself, much like how everyone has to, I think I know what I must do. And you make a good point about pivoting. I never learned how to do that. Even today, I still don't know how, but looks like I have to learn now. I feel inspired and lost at the same time after listening to this video. And for a question, and hopefully a future topic, and one that I would like to join in on, how can a YouTube channel be revived / rekindled? Thanks for the comment. Ooh. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I've known Master for a very long time, like 6 or 7 years now.
You go back.
So it's cool that he found the podcast, is listening. And I mean, that's a very real issue. I know for his specific case, he made videos a long time ago, made them for a while, gained a fairly decent following as a small YouTuber, but then had a couple of long hiatuses, and like that will basically kill a channel.
Yeah, if you wait long enough, for sure.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, especially like he was in the gaming community and like doing Let's Plays in the prime time of Let's Plays, but then to like stop and then have to come back, like it's a problem. Like dead channels happen.
I just realized I've never looked at his channel before. I should probably do that right now.
yeah, take a look at it.
Yeah.
Here's my question to you, Aden. Should we tackle this right now, or should we make this its own video? Because I think it'd be a good, or its own episode.
I think we should offer like something, at least for his specific case.
Yeah. For sure.
To be like, hey, he commented, let's give him a little bit of advice here. But for like the overall topic of that, like if we want to get like real broad into it, yeah, I'd be fine with having him on. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Sweet. I would say right off the bat, if I have the issue where like I feel like my channel is dying and I need to like rekindle it or revive it, what I personally did was I just started a new channel. And I don't recommend this to everybody, because some people, and I've seen this before, they're like, my channel's dead, let me go start a new YouTube, let me start another channel, but they've only had the other channel for like a few months.
Right, yeah.
And so what ends up happening is somebody is like making a new channel every few months because they feel like their channel is quote unquote dead. Like that's not the case. This is for the people who's had what I'd consider a legacy channel.
Yeah.
Channel that's been around for at least 5 years or longer.
I'm still scrolling. I haven't reached the bottom yet, by the way.
Yeah. It's a lot of content. It's like I said, it's similar to like my Subijin Games channel, Let's Plays from like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like, it's clear that what I was doing may have worked at one time, but because of hiatuses and because of audience changing and because of algorithm changing, like that channel, that content doesn't work currently. Now, maybe that content would work on a new channel because it would have a fresh start. We've even mentioned it in this podcast when I created Zack Snyder Productions. Like, one of the reasons for me doing that was I could have done the same content on the other channel, but I thought that having a fresh start with like that 0 subscriber mark and starting fresh, I thought that would be the best idea. And I think it still is the best idea. It's definitely like helped me grow more and faster than it would have had it been on the other channel.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still scrolling, by the way. I have not throughout that entire speech. I am still fucking. Well, let me just say this, dude. Your fucking work ethic. Holy shit! Like, man, this is a guy right here who saw like the height of Let's Plays. It was like, let me do like 1,000 fucking series and finish them. Like, no shit.
Yeah, for sure.
This dude has like about as many fucking series as Chucker Conroy, if not more, and most of them are finished. Like, whoa, dude.
Yeah. 1,084 videos.
1,084 videos. Jesus Christ, my guy.
Yeah.
When someone's like, hey, I'm a Let's Player and I'm not doing well, like, what shall I do? Like, I tend to think like, oh, they've probably only been doing it for a few months, or, you know, they don't finish a series, or they don't upload often, or, like, you know, kind of the telltale signs of, like, a struggling channel. Back in his heyday, this dude fucking had something on lock here. Thumbnail-wise, like, obviously they're a little outdated now, but back in the day, this was, like, kind of top-tier shit at the time. And all these views were, like, pretty cool as well. So, like, dude, let me just say, that way to see something and, like, pounce on it, right? Way to see an audience and an idea on YouTube and, like, go full in hard work ethic on it. That's something that not a lot of people do. And you fucking took advantage of it, so shout out to you. However, that does get into the thing where, like, clearly it's 2019. We've kind of passed the point of this content being, quote-unquote, in its heyday. And these thumbnails could definitely use a little bit of work as well. And stuff. But, man, I don't know, like, if he still wants to do Let's Plays, I think, like, a little bit of rebranding and a little bit of, like, spit and polish could go a long way into helping revive this channel. If he doesn't want to do Let's Plays,
I think it's possible, yeah,
and wants to go in a different route, like make higher produced stuff for like video essays or whatever, I could also see him like doing what you said and just make a new channel and probably do really well with it. But man, this dude's just like a relic of an era, and it's so cool to see that he's still like making stuff. So shout out to you, man.
Yeah. No, I think it's like I found a master like back in the day when I was doing like the exact same thing, right? Like posting 2 to 3 Let's Play parts a day and like really just being invested in that. And it's clear that 2019 is a completely different atmosphere for the platform.
Right.
So I do think it's gonna be some self-awareness. It's going to be like asking, what do I want to do now? I know personally that he's doing a lot of live streaming now.
Right.
And that's kind of his big thing. He wants to be a Twitch partner this year. Which I think is a very like good route to go. And if you want to do live streaming and make that your thing, like literally go 100% into live streaming.
Yeah. Live streaming is a great route to go for sure.
It simply depends on like what you want to do, what your ambition is. Because if you're cool with just doing live streaming, just do that. But if you also want to make videos, then figure out what kind of videos you want to do, whether it's Let's Plays or not. Make that decision and then just go for it. And then just go from there. I mean, his most recent content over the past 4 months, and this is after a 8-month hiatus, and then before that an entire like year or 2 hiatus. It's a lot of live streams. He was doing YouTube live streams.
Yeah. Wow.
For like 4 months. Yeah. And then I'm assuming that's when he pivoted to Twitch.
Yeah.
Which I think is a smart move, honestly.
He said he didn't know how to pivot, but he actually kind of did a perfect example of like what to do in that case.
Yeah.
Being like, I want to do Twitch now. Okay. Fucking go all in on it, right? If you want to do it. If you still want to do like Let's Plays on the side, or if you've ever thought about like going into more ambitious content, you know, you could do that as well. It's just like Zach said, figuring out what you want to do and go hard into it.
I'd actually say personally,
and get a graphic designer somewhere on board. Because these thumbnails are killing me, man.
He has a few videos that were made about a year ago when he like made a return where they're game reviews.
Ooh.
And they have a little bit more like production quality put into, and I watched a couple of them when he put them out there, and I liked them. So like if that's something he wants to do, like he could definitely just do an entire channel of game reviews.
Pivot
like,
into that even, yeah.
Yeah. But again, it depends on what you want to do, and I'm still completely cool with having you on the podcast, and we can talk about like the specifics of reviving a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I kind of want to talk to you now after seeing all this shit. Like, I'm kind of excited about this.
Yeah.
Really
Should be
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Should be good. But thank you for the comment. Hopefully we've helped you at least a little bit here. I think you're in the right direction.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think doing Twitch is a good idea. I think streaming and figuring out like what you want to do as far as YouTube is a good idea. Rebranding is definitely a good idea. And if you want to do it like more hardcore stuff, like make a new channel if you want, you know? I think you're the type of person, obviously, that like if you're inspired and want to do something, you'll put the effort in doing it. Which means you're a lot easier to help than a lot of other people.
For sure.
So I think you'll succeed no matter what you do, man.
Yeah, I agree. Cool.
But that is our comments, ladies and gentlemen. We've read them all.
Comments. We will read episode 34's comments next week when that episode is up, and
might be a little late.
Put comments there,
but that's my fault. I've had the internet here is not good, so it'll take me a while to give the file to Zach.
Yeah, I should have actually messaged you earlier in the week, and then this morning I was like working, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's Sunday.
LOL.
Probably need to go put out that podcast episode." I was thinking about moving the upload day to Mondays, but like then the same shit will just happen
again.
It'll be Monday. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck it, we'll just keep it on Sundays. Eventually, we'll get back on track. Exactly, but we've been getting them out. The last few weeks, which is good.
Still an episode ahead, so
not too concerned.
We're doing something right.
Anyways, let's end it.
Yeah.
It's been a good episode.
It has been a long one, but a good one. And hey, feel free to comment on this one. Let us know what you're thinking. What your thoughts. And question of the day, what are your YouTube pet peeves? You can talk about YouTubers or the platform. The only thing I'd ask you to do is to kind of do it in an approach like we did, where we didn't call people out. I don't want the comment section to be like a whole drama beef thing where you're just calling out a bunch of people you hate. Like, kind of steer away from that and offer like a little bit of help along the way. Because we're all about spreading love, not hate. So,
yeah. Unless you want to talk shit about Aden.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. If you have problems with me, I want to hear them all out in the open. And stay tuned to next week when I start a beef with Zach. Because I'm hyped about that.
Hell to the yell. Have you seen... I want to briefly mention this. Have you seen the Jack Black YouTube channel yet?
I know it exists. I've not watched a video yet.
Okay. How would you feel if I told you it's actually good?
Oh, Lord.
I didn't expect it to be. I was like, wait, what? After Will Smith being in YouTube Rewind, we have another celebrity coming on the platform? They feel like genuine YouTube videos, and it's beautiful.
Oh, Lord. So excited now.
Yeah. Anyways.
Go watch Jack Black, everybody.
Go watch Jack Black and Will Smith. I've been Zach.
I've been Aden.
And we want to thank you for listening to this episode of Another YouTube Podcast.
Bye.
Bye-bye.